All right. We're just getting started here. Happy Tuesday. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. You know, at some point I'm going to have to get my water bottle, but not right now. We'll get it here in a minute. Wait for things to matriculate. Adjust my camera a little bit. All right. Keith Webb, hey, on the YouTube side. Right on, right on. Happy Tuesday. Yes, you are first, Kith. Rajisi, good to see you. Oh, there it is. Jessica Raid. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Eweezy. Thank you. Glad we're sounding good. Ah, there's the Jessica Raid. More Jessica Raiders. How you guys doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you all. Yay, Jessica Raid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jessica, you did an awesome job today. Good job. Fantastic. Didn't she, Ember?
Oh, yeah, she did great.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm excited that she's going to be going live more.
Me too. That was fantastic. So nice job. And I'm glad you took that step. That was a big step. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, I saw you get into it at the end there. Ember. With
Oh, yeah,
pitching it?
Look, and I didn't even say that much. All I did was cut him off from saying terrible things.
Yeah.
And he couldn't handle it. So, look, sometimes I want to apologize for going in, but at the same time, that it was really bad.
Hey, you know what? If they're defending horrible stuff, no. No. All right. Guess who we have? And look who's early today. Usually it's a later appearance, but today Hammy has graced us with an early appearance today. We are so lucky. We are so lucky. And I also saw Hammy getting after it with the birth.
We getting after it with the birth. We getting after it.
You good, Hammy?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Talon BZ. Yes, I am happy today. I'm usually in good spirits. I am. And I'm in good spirits mainly because my friends are here, number one, but number two, because Hammy is here early. That never gets old. So I think you have something cool for us today.
I do, because as always, normally I have so many things that I could read from that I never know what to choose from. And so while on Jessica's Live, I went ahead and asked them the question to all the people who
spoiling Magnus people. I'm gonna have to fire up that movie again.
Look, Soil and Green isn't people. Don't listen to the heretic.
About pulling
Magnus.
up a classic. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Magnus.
The thing is, Magnus is just a heretic who, is against Big Brother. Anyways, so I asked them the question: what should King Hammy of Hamelot read from? And they had chose Arabian Nights.
Ooh,
so I went ahead and found Aladdin from Arabian Nights to read to y'all. It's Aladdin,
not the Disney version of Aladdin.
The Wonderful Man.
Yeah.
No, this is not.
This is the original.
This is true.
Yeah.
The OG from 1,001 Nights.
Yeah.
Or 1,000 Nights. Yeah, no. Tales from 1,001 Nights. And it says, "It hath reached me, O King of the Age, that there dwelt in a city of the cities of China a man, which was a tailor, withal a pauper, and he had one son, Aladdin hight. Now, this boy had been from his babyhood a ne'er-do-well, a scapegrace, and when he reached his 10th year, his father inclined to teach him his own trade, and for that he was over indigent to expand money upon his learning other work or craft or apprenticeship. He took the lad into his shop that he might be taught tailoring. But as Aladdin was a scapegrace and a ne'er-do-well, and wont to play at all times with the gutter boys of the quarter, he would not sit in the shop for a single day. Nay, he would await his father's leaving it for some purpose, such as to meet a creditor, when he would run off at once and fare forth to the gardens with the other scapegraces and low companions, his fellows. Such was his case, counsel and castigation. That's a weird word. Were of no avail, nor would he obey either parent in aught or learn any trade. And presently, for his sadness and sorrowing, because of his son's vicious indolence, the tailor sickened and unalived." And that's where I'm going to stop there, because then y'all are going to see that Hammy is indeed a functioning idiot, because he doesn't know a lot of these freaking words that are being used.
It's okay.
Because he is not smart.
However, you are red.
So there you go.
I am red.
And
I challenge the not smart. I don't believe you. I don't believe it. You are red. And
I am red.
Yes.
Ish.
Red-ish.
I honestly think that intelligence is less about what you are inherent, like what you're born with, and more about the access to information that you have. Exactly. And how well you've learned to critically think. I think that your intelligence can change over time. Your education and information can deepen, and that's why. Yeah, like people who are more well-read are more intelligent because you have the information.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And
there
it's about knowing where to get the information as well.
There are days that I feel like Frasier from the show Frasier, and then there are days that I feel like Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
Happens to the best of us.
My favorite skit from that is that there's one episode where Peter kept saying, "Thanks, word of the day, calendar," and it'd be a word that's just like the most simple word ever, like get.
Oh, Mezzo and Joel raid. Whoa! Thank you to all the Mezzo and Joel raiders. Outstanding. Thank you. Happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
A Jezzo raid? Wow.
Yeah, a Jezzo raid. Can you believe that? Yeah. So that is fantastic. But yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Hammy. Well, I'll share with you my idiot moment. So the other day, it's like an ongoing thing. I'm always misplacing my glasses, and let's see, the one where I literally set them down, went to another room, came back, and could not find them. So a span of 30 seconds, I just forgot where my glasses were. Completely forgot. Looked all over the place. And of course, Mrs. Verify has fun with me about that. She's like, I'm looking right at them. And
have you ever done this though? I've misplaced my keys that were in my hand.
I've done that too. I misplaced my glasses on top of my head.
Same. I did that a few weeks ago. I was like, where are my sunglasses? Oh, literally right here. Oops.
Exactly. So,
You put them up there thinking, there's no way I can forget it. But then the feel of them being up there becomes so one within like your body that you do forget that they're there, and you're like, where are my sunglasses? What did I do with them?
Yeah, half raid.
And then they fall down. And then they fall down your face as you're looking down to see if maybe they fell on the ground. And you're like, yeah, I'm the big smart right now.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah. So, half a raid. So, yeah, welcome to the Raiders. I got raided by 2 lives today. That is, wow, what an honor. What an honor. So, thank you. Appreciate you all. So, all right, we are cooking now. We're, the flames are going.
Jezzo Raiders.
Yeah, W Jezzo Raiders, W Jessica Raiders. It's a J Raid day, huh? So, W to all the Raiders. And
welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in. If you are a believer, just so you know, the prompt up above us right now says, I am an atheist. What's your best evidence that God is real? If you have a belief in a God's higher power, mainly the Abrahamic ones, but we can dabble in some of the others if we can dabble. We can dabble. We can take a little bit of a dabble if you believe in a different type of God, and we want to know, what is your best evidence that said God is real?
Yeah.
And you have your wonderful, amazing host, Trust But Verify, who will be doing a lot of talking. Then you have Ember below me, the wonderful, amazing Ember, who they are very, very smart. And then you have me, the local idiot, who has managed to find out how to get up on the panel, Hammy. So, yes, make sure that you go ahead and come up, request up. Trust will ask you the initial set of questions, ask you for your best evidence, where you get to talk uninterrupted with your best evidence. As long as it's your best evidence, we will let you talk uninterrupted to get it all out. And then somewhere at one point, Trust will be like, okay, now everybody else gets to also jump in if you'd like.
Exactly.
Yeah, we jump in sometimes. We jump in.
Yeah, and it's within reason. Like, if we expect you to land the plane within like a minute and a half, minute and a half, but anything longer than that.
Yeah, and if you're saying something that is absolutely awful, we will cut that off. We're not going to let that shit fly.
If you come up here to say that there is a good reason why children should be said, we're gonna shut that shit down real quick, right? We're gonna cut that off real fast.
Yeah, totally reasonable. All right, we do have a guest in the queue, Kay Everdeen. So let's start it off. All right, Kay Everdeen, welcome up. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Oh, doing well. Thanks for asking. Thanks for waiting. And can I get your age and what pronouns you prefer, please?
I'm 38 years old and I'm a male.
You're a male? Okay. That,
Yes.
okay, that's your sex. And so we have males who use different types of pronouns. So which ones?
He, him.
He, him.
He,
Thank
him,
you.
male, completely heterosexual, if you want to go that way.
All
I
right.
suppose.
Not
We were asking
necessary.
for gender, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
That's okay. But thank you.
I'm
Appreciate
not
that.
I'm not used to the identities, so I
Fair.
mean that's
No
what I've
problem.
gone with my whole life. So
Okay.
that's
No
who I am
problem.
now.
No problem. Well, thank you for that. All right. And which God do you believe in? Do you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, or some semblance of a mind that created the universe?
I do believe in the God of the Bible, the Holy Bible. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's what you're referring to, the books of the Bible, the letters, the books, the conglomeration of the 66 books of the Bible. I mean, there are several different variations of that. The King James Version, which is one, the Ethiopian Bible, which has more books.
Okay. All right. And then what is your best evidence that God is real?
So if I could ask maybe a couple of questions, and then we can move on from that and then delve deep into that, because there's there's evidence of what I believe, but I believe that the place, whether it's a geographical location that you've grown up in, or the family household that you've grown up in, is what you've been led to believe is true.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, as long as the questions kind of relate to my question, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I'll get there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll get there.
All right.
And it won't take long. Are you artistic in any way? Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you graphic design? Do you do anything like that? Do you
I would
make
say
anything?
artistic wise, I play music. I
Okay.
play music. I
Do you
sing on
think
the
that
side.
you put
Yeah.
your best effort into your music?
Not always. Sometimes I do.
Why not?
Not always. I think it's effort for me is tied to time, and so I go by that. Like, you know, practicing playing an instrument, practicing singing, you know, things of that sort. I think that goes in that contributes to, you know, doing well in that craft. And so I don't have the time to do that. But when I do, you know, I mainly enjoy playing, you know, as a hobby, as a recreation, to have fun. So nothing serious. Yeah. So I wouldn't say, but now there was one point where I was pretty serious about it, and I did put a lot of effort into it. You know, it was way back in my younger days, but not now.
All right.
It's just
So
for fun.
a follow-up question: do you think that the music that you produce, whether you put forth your full effort into that, reflects you in any kind of way?
To a certain point, yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure you've seen a picture or a painting before in your life.
Sure.
How can you prove that that painting had a painter?
By inference to the best explanation. Also, we have past evidence of painters creating paintings. So if we just happen upon a painting, it's reasonable to assume that it had a painter.
So why can't we believe that there is creation and there is a creator?
Because we have evidence to the contrary, according to our reality. So
okay, all right.
We don't have evidence of a creator.
I'm a very open-minded individual. Explain that to me, because if I see something, there's evidence of a physical, materialistic, transient object that's here, and I have to believe that it didn't just occupy itself in this space, time, and matter. It obviously was made by something else.
Okay.
Sure.
Go ahead, Hammy.
May I? Yeah. So whenever it comes to like the creator creation thing, is that whenever we look at these things and we see the earth and how it was, and I'm assuming you believe that this being that created everything is like intelligent, right?
You would be safe to assume that, yes.
And you would like, do you believe that everything is intelligently designed for us, type of deal?
I mean, everything is a everything is an absolution. That word "everything" includes literally everything. So there are some things that I believe that is made by God or a deity, if you will, and there are some things that are man-made that are crafted by the compounds that we have on this big rock we call Earth.
Right, but like whenever it comes to like everything that this designer created, you would say it's intelligently designed, right?
Okay, what do you can you elaborate a little bit on intelligently designed? I'm not sure.
You, like everything is intelligently designed for by this intelligent creator, meaning that it
Like
was
everything
designed
has a
for us in
reason
mind.
to exist or a purpose, whether
No,
it's
that's not what he's asking.
No,
medicinal. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
everything that is intelligently designed, meaning that it was designed for specifically like us and our survival type of deal.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I'm wondering like if you were, let's say, let's put you in a designer in this designer's thing. You found, like, let's say that you're able to find out that you can create life, right? That you're able to create things, right? And you create this place for them to preoccupy. And you sit there and say, you know for a fact that these things that you've created, they need water to survive. That they need
Only if the
shelter.
beings that I've created survive on that compound of
Well,
water.
even those that don't like live on land, like they also need water to survive, right? So you have
Well,
beings
that's
that
what
need
we've
water
been
to
that's
survive.
what we've been told, right? Can we all agree that we're all Homo sapiens here?
Everyone on this panel is Homo sapien, yes.
Okay. So we as
But
human beings need water to survive. So you're using
so,
that as
well,
a
hold on,
means to
hold
describe
on,
this.
hold
I'm
on.
listening. I'm listening. I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
So you create these things that need water to survive. They need shelter to keep themselves safe and things like that. And your whole entire thing is that you want this particular species to thrive because you like this particular species. Why would you, if you're this designer, would you make it to where the great majority of that water that's in its terrarium, if you will, um, would unalive them if they drank it?
You're talking about the world that we live in is composed of 70 to 75% made of seawater that we cannot
Not
consume.
Not just that, but even so, like the only way for us to be able to consume water without us violently getting ill and possibly unaliving is that it has to be either filtered or it has to be from a natural source that is rapidly moving. So,
Of
like,
course, because stagnant water
yeah,
contains contaminants and bacteria and
exactly,
germs that would allow us
exactly.
to
And a great
be
majority,
unhealthy.
yeah, and a great majority of the water on this planet is either salt water or it is stagnant water.
Okay.
And so, would you, if you're designing this place for these creatures, would you do that if your sole purpose is for that species' survival?
I believe that we are born with a free mind and free will, and we are we are given the tools
That
that we need to be successful to.
that doesn't
I
answer
mean,
the question, though.
that's part of Darwinism. I mean, if you can't find drinkable water, I mean, you're going to eventually
So,
go off.
yeah, the thing is that makes sense if there is no God and that we evolve, right? That those that those that can't find ways to better the situation they're in will unalive, right? But I'm asking you, as an intelligent designer, Would you do that? Would you put these creatures that your whole entire purpose is to make sure they survive? Would you put them on a place that has majority of water that they cannot drink?
Sure, and this will go back to what I asked the host. Trust but verify. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
This goes back to asking the host. Whenever I asked him about whenever he creates music, he always doesn't put forth his best effort into making the best of music.
Right, but if you asked if Trust, like if he was going to perform at a symposium, he would say that he would put his best foot forward.
Yeah, there's
and he
stake in
would-
it. Yeah. By
Yeah.
stake. But
And-
I've got no stake. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it's just music I do with like family and friends.
So you're talking about some sort of beneficial part of that. You're not gonna benefit from it if you don't put forth your greatest effort.
Well, if I can throw 2 cents in,
Sure,
I think-
absolutely.
yeah. So as far as like the water example, is it, you would agree that we have droughts, right?
Yes, in certain
Yeah.
geographical areas of the earth, yes, there are droughts.
Yeah, we've seen, like, we have scientific evidence of droughts that happen all over the globe, right? And there are even some places that are just in a permanent drought, basically called deserts, right? And now, while not a lot of creatures live there, but they're, because they're pretty hostile to life. What I'm trying to understand is, like, an intelligent designer would put animals on this earth that can't go more than 3 days without water, and 99% of the water is by default undrinkable. And the only animals really that has the ability to synthesize the water into something drinkable are humans, right? So why would God or an intelligent designer create all these other animals that have no other way to manually synthesize water into something drinkable? And yet the vast majority of these animals have a maximum of 3 days before they die if they don't get water.
Why is it that we can go longer than 3 days as Homo sapiens? And can you tell me how many animals there are in the world compared to humans?
Okay. Well, can you answer the question?
I can't answer the question. I'm asking you.
Yeah, I asked you first. Can you answer my question?
Well, there are, what is it, roughly 8 billion people in this world?
Mm-hmm. We can go
Maybe.
a maximum of 3 days without water,
We can go a maximum 3 days without water?
without any water whatsoever. Yeah,
And what happens after 3 days without drinking water?
we die.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's literally
I
what
was-
happened. That's science.
It's fact.
I was,
You don't believe that's true?
well, I mean, I can prove that it's true just by telling you, but it's up to you to believe it. But there was a time, a long time ago, whenever I was on an illegal substance and I didn't consume water for several days. However, my body is made up of a lot of water, and it allowed me to survive on the water that was inside my body instead of consuming it from an outside source.
Well, you would agree then that if you were on a substance, because I was in that position too, and so you would
Okay.
agree though that you don't have like a full grasp of reality. So you would agree with that, right?
I would agree that I had
Okay.
a twisted type of reality.
Yeah. You don't have a full
Consuming that
grasp.
substance.
I'll just call it full grasp. You don't have a full grasp of reality. So
Right, exactly.
it's really hard to say. And
when
you
you
would
have
also,
a substance
when you have a substance
in your
abuse
body,
problem,
yes.
you would also agree that water is not your like tracking how much water you've had over a certain number of days. That's not your number one priority. You would agree with that also, right?
That water is not my number one priority.
Like, yeah, tracking how much water you've had over how many days is not your number one priority.
Right, exactly. And I
Okay.
love the word priority. I'm going to go on a side quest here and say I love the word priority because the word priorities didn't get introduced until much later But
Okay.
I read a book one time that described if you have
Let's stay on the main point.
All right, keep going.
Okay. So what I'm driving at is it's hard to, like, if I'm telling you like something that happened to me back in those days, I wouldn't like, if somebody didn't really believe some of the details, I wouldn't be surprised, nor, because I would say my recollection of things is not that reliable, back when I was in that state. That's all I'm saying. And then the other part of it is that we do have scientific evidence, peer-reviewed scientific evidence, that humans cannot go more than 3 days without water. Now, that doesn't include like things we ingest, things we eat, things of that sort. So if you have absolutely, like, if you go without food and water, for 3 days, yeah, your body will shut down. But we do derive water from our food.
Well,
too.
you just changed your answer from
No, I didn't.
unaliving to shutting down. Shutting down is
Or
a
shut
Your
down and
body will
die.
shut down and you will die.
Yeah, shut down and die.
Were you eating during that time? Were you drinking anything else? Because it's not just drinking water. It's having liquids and hydrating your body. That if you don't have any liquids whatsoever, and don't have soup, don't have different things that would hydrate your body, yes, you will die.
Yeah.
No, I was on a substance that was formed out of a crystal. You can use your own brain to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we understand.
It was in the shape of a crystal,
Yes, we
and
get it.
I did not consume anything for many days. No food and or drink, and I'm still alive and well.
How do you know though? If you're in an altered state, how do you know that you didn't consume anything?
Yeah.
I have video evidence of myself
Of
not
the
consuming any of
entire
this.
3 days? Come on, man.
You don't believe that?
No, because I have been hospitalized, and let me see. I think I saw somebody. FDOT has been hospitalized as well for lack of hydration. Like this is not.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
recording
So
phones don't have enough battery or like actual being processing power to continuously record for 3 days straight. So
I mean, I guess you could say that I wasn't continuously recorded throughout the entire 3 or more days that I was on this substance.
It would say,
I mean, I guess there's a possibility that I could have consumed something.
yeah. And it's not exactly 3 days. It can be, it's a confidence level. You're like, if you're familiar with confidence levels, like, the vast majority will die after 3 days. If you're in like optimal conditions, like in an optimal environment, you could survive a little longer. It could be shorter, say if you're in a desert. So, it's about 3 days.
Of course, it also depends on the elements that you are exposed to.
Yeah.
As
So
well.
the point
if you are in
okay.
a desert,
So we're getting way lost in the weeds. The point is, you cannot survive that long without water, right? So the point is, why would an intelligent designer have that requirement of the body and provide a limited water source?
Because I also believe in survival of the fittest.
Okay.
I also believe in Darwinism.
Okay.
I mean, if you can't survive,
that doesn't answer the intelligent designer. Why would an intelligent designer do that though? That doesn't answer that question.
Why would he do that? Because that's the way it's been scripted. That's the way that the intelligent designer has made it. I mean,
Are
it's
you okay with?
you're.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I really can't answer why, because he's not me and I'm not him.
Okay. So one more thing, and then Ember, you go next. So one more thing. So then why is it then that an intelligent designer would put the trachea next to the esophagus, the breathing hole next to the feeding hole, so that every time you swallow food, it's a potential choking hazard? You're literally risking your life to eat food. or drink water. So why would an intelligent designer do that?
Again, I can't answer that because
Okay.
that's the way that it was
Does that sound
designed.
intelligent though?
It goes through the gastrointestinal tract of what I know of the
Sure.
physical body.
I'm asking if it sounds intelligent to you.
I mean, I believe that everything inside your body has a purpose, and everything has a flaw. I will say that.
Okay. Everything has a flaw. All right. Okay. I'll because I got a way to go there, but go ahead, Ember. You wanted to ask
Okay,
something.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm a very open-minded individual, and I have my own thoughts and beliefs. But I love hearing this conversation and hearing this from all of you too,
Yeah.
as well.
So I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direction. So you talked about survival of the fittest, and that is the way God designed it, correct?
I mean, that's what I believe. I mean, if the system is flawed in some form or fashion, then it's a means, because if there is more salt water than there is consumable water, then you need to go out and go find that drinkable water in order to survive.
So, well, what about disabled people then? Are you saying that disabled people shouldn't survive? Because we can't, and how can a God be an intelligent designer or a good designer or anything like that if there's disabled people that exist that literally cannot go and do those things?
I can't answer that because I'm not physically disabled. I'm able to go out and hunt and gather.
Sure, that's great for you. That's great for you. You're very privileged to be able to do that, but there's so many of us. I do not have the health that I can actually go out and physically do those things. There are people who can't walk.
Some
There are
animals
people
that
who
can't have a
and we
place to
have
go drink the
systems in
water.
place. We have systems in place as human beings that could help disabled people. We don't have to do survival of the fittest.
Correct.
So why would a God design it to be that way if that is lacking in empathy, in care, and those who had no choice in the matter can't survive?
You can't make someone be a natural empath and care about other people.
But that wasn't what I was saying at all. I mean, I'm literally talking about the God that is supposed to be the creator not having empathy for human beings and designing it to be survival of the fittest.
I mean, do you want a supreme being, great architect of the universe, to be here to wait on you hand and foot?
That's not the same thing. You're taking you keep pivoting.
Yeah,
so
absurd.
Yeah, you keep pivoting to things that I'm not saying. I'm talking about people who are born disabled, children who are born and live in a hospital, and they cannot survive on their own.
They rely on others.
But you said God designed it to be survival of the fittest. So are people going against God's plan by helping others?
I wouldn't say it would be going against God's plan. I mean, things happen. I mean, if you believe in science and you believe in genetics and you believe in things that you're inherently born with, whether it's a mental illness or whether it's a physical disability, you either die or somebody's going to help you.
May I chime in?
You're still not answering though. You're still not answering anything that I'm saying. You keep pivoting. And I genuinely think that it's because that a God designing a world for survival of the fittest is extremely unempathetic. And it doesn't show for a good or intelligent being that is just like, yeah, okay. Disabled people, you better do, You
Do you
better
believe
figure it
that
out.
anything is perfect? Is there anything in this world that you have created or anybody else or anything has created that is perfect?
You keep going off of the subject because this God is supposed to be perfect. And survival of the fittest is not a perfect process.
I also want to know, what do you think survival of the fittest means, Everdeen?
What do I believe survival of the fittest is? I mean, if you're going to go back a long, long time ago, there were people on this earth that did not have access to medical care. They didn't have access to drinkable water. They were physically unable to hunt for themselves or consume food or gather. And therefore they didn't live as long as those who could.
I'm asking you like for like kind of like a definition of what survival of the fittest means.
If you can't get what you need in this life and nobody else can provide it for you, you diminish.
Can I
And
chime in here?
you believe that's how God designed it?
Yes.
My dad recently died, and
I'm sorry for that.
he was in the hospital for about a little over a month. And you believe that people can survive drinking water for more than 3 days. My dad quit drinking water 3 days before he died. He didn't want to eat, he didn't want to drink, he was done. And Monday morning, that was it.
Just got my
He
live
didn't
restricted.
consume any water, but you said he was in a hospital?
Yes, he was in a hospital.
Was he not given any sort of intravenous fluids?
Hold on 1 second. Trust, what happened?
I don't know. My live got restricted. That it violates integrity policies. I'm not even sure what that means.
Integrity policies?
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
That's strange.
Yeah.
I don't think we're talking about anything that would violate
I'm not doing
that.
anything. Yeah. I'm not doing anything. So I don't understand why. All right. Well, I think after this conversation, I'll restart the live. We'll see if that helps anything. But yeah, I think, just kind of going back to Reckless's point, we have a lot of evidence that you can't survive very long without water. It's about an average of 3 days.
But you can get intravenous saline and still survive.
He didn't have intravenous saline. He said he was, I didn't even know about this until today, but Friday he was done. Friday he said no more. He quit eating, drinking. Monday morning, got the call, 9:35, he's gone.
You are born with one free thing in this world, and that is the freedom of choice.
Okay. So, well, help me out with this. Help us out with this, because you're saying if this is an intelligently designed reality, right? Yet you have no explanation for why we can't go more than 3 days of water. You have no explanation for why the breathing hole is next to the feeding hole.
I'm not a physician. I don't understand the body well enough.
Okay. I'm asking you why an intelligent designer would do that. I asked you earlier, does that sound intelligent to you? And you dodged the question. So let me kind of go back to that.
What's your definition of intelligent?
It's the dictionary definition. So how do you define intelligent?
I would say using your experiences, your atmosphere and things, choosing the best advice that you have, whether it's your brain or by others that have influenced you to make those choices moving forward. That's your best option. You choose to string the chords on your guitar or whatever music you want to play. This is how this person, this deity, this God did it.
According to the Oxford Dictionary, intelligent means having a good understanding or a high mental capacity. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
Okay. So does it show a high degree of mental capacity to put the feeding hole next to the breeding hole, so every time you take a bite of food, it's a choking hazard where you could potentially die?
I can't answer that because I
Okay,
didn't
so we have
design
no
it.
explanation for
I'm
that
not.
either. Okay,
I'm not the
so
designer.
okay, so here's the thing: science has explanations for all of these, right? They know how they came about. They have, and why the mechanism is that way. So if we have evidence for why the breathing hole is next to the feeding hole through science, why would we believe that an intelligent designer did this? Why should we believe that?
That's the way we were taught.
It's the way we were taught. Okay. Is everything that you're taught true?
No, of course not. If you
Okay.
believed everything that was true, then you're way out there.
Right. So
And this is
that
this is
doesn't
why
sound
I
like a
love
very
this
good
open
reason. Yeah,
conversation.
but that doesn't
because
sound like
I'm
a good reason to believe it just because we were taught it. That doesn't make it true. So
No, of course it doesn't make it true, but I mean it.
so we're trying to understand then, if it doesn't make it true, how do you know that we are intelligently designed? Because
Because
again,
that's
you
how
don't
I
have
was
any
raised, and
explanations for things, and like when we put it
that's
to the
how I was
test.
raised, and that's what I believe in.
All right, but
Because
again, is it just because you were raised that way doesn't make it true? You've admitted to that, right? So that's
do I need
not
to prove it with factual evidence that
uh
that's the way things are? Because I'm
that's the way
really
things
trying to
are.
understand because I'm trying to prove it with factual evidence because I do believe in science as well.
Well, we don't have any factual evidence that it's intelligently designed. Like the examples you gave, like the thing that we put it to the test. That's my name, trust but verify, right? So we verified what you just said, and it doesn't hold up to the verification. So that's why I'm asking you.
Trust.
Yeah, I'll start the kick poll, but I'm just asking you why we should believe it. Okay, I'll start the kick poll.
The one singular word that I guess I could use is my faith. What's the definition of faith?
Belief without evidence.
Is that what Merriam-Webster defined it as?
There's different, like I learned this new word from and this is why Hammy is not a functional idiot, because I learned this word from Hammy. It's a polysemous word.
I don't know what polysemous means.
It just means it has different meanings that are all that can be both true. Like, so we'll use faith.
Basically, it's a word that has.
Go ahead, Hammy. You pick it up from here.
It has
Polls open, everybody.
Yeah. Polysemous means that a word has multiple related meanings, meaning that it has multiple different definitions that all kind of are similar to each other. So, like, for instance, with atheist can mean somebody who lacks a belief in a god or gods, right? That's true. It can also mean somebody who holds the position that no gods exist, which is a positive claim, right? And they're related in meaning, but they're two totally different definitions for atheists.
Yeah, like so for the word faith, it can mean, like, if I say my wife is faithful to me, it means that she is trustworthy. And so when we use,
I'm on the same page. Keep going.
And so when we use faith in the sense of believing in a deity, what that usually means, like, especially like if you take into account Hebrews 11 verse 1, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So in that sense, in that context, faith means belief without evidence, substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. So that's what faith means in this context.
Do you believe that water will keep you alive?
Yeah, because we have evidence for that. So I don't have
that would
faith.
also be faith in water.
In the
that's
secular
trust.
sense, yeah, we would trust
That
that.
Belief,
But we have evidence that water would keep us alive because we have
belief,
long-standing
faith,
evidence.
and knowledge. Belief, faith, and knowledge kind of intertwine with each other.
Yeah.
Because belief, for instance, a belief is just something you hold to be true, right? That's all that belief is. So, well, no, it's just that you hold a position to be true. Then you have faith, which I would label it as unjustified belief, meaning that it's a position that you hold to be true, but you have no real evidence or anything like that to back it up. And knowledge is justified belief, which means that it's a position you hold to be true that's backed up by evidence. So whenever we say that you can go 3 days without water, it is a belief, but it's more on the knowledge side, not the faith side.
Believe backed by evidence. Hey, listen, Everdeen, the chat has voted
Yes.
to move to the next guest. So
Okay.
we'll end the discussion here. But hey,
All
appreciate
right.
you
Well,
coming
thank
up
you.
and
Thank
talking.
you so much for all of your time,
Yeah.
every one of you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I will look more into this, and I appreciate you for granting me access to your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have a good day, Everdeen. Take care.
You too.
All right. I'm going to restart the TikTok live, and I think I have an idea why. Because I mentioned in the description to play free bingo. That might be why. So I'm going to
Oh, that's
just
probably it.
that might be it. I'm just going to delete that,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to restart the live. I think that's why. So
So people who are in requests, we have, oh, we did have 3. Damn it. Well, Matthew in request, come back, request again.
yeah, come back and request.
Make sure you come back. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Give it like 1 or 2 minutes. And YouTube, you stay with me. So, okay, we'll see you guys on TikTok in a minute. All right, YouTubers, we're back on the TikTok side. So let's see. This time I should not get shut down. So I just changed a couple things around. So hopefully we'll be good to go. XCZ, good to see you. All right, I think that was the issue. So hopefully that
would make sense.
Yeah. Because I was thinking if I put free in there, I was like, hey, that should not be an issue, but apparently not.
Yeah,
Apparently,
if you make any allusion to like money or whatever, they will just get you like that.
Yeah, they'll just.
By the way, my friend David, that we talked about yesterday, he says thank you very much for the kind words and the well wishes. So
that's very
he's
cool.
doing well.
Cool.
He told me he's doing well physically and mentally despite everything going on. So we're both just absolutely floored and horrified that conversion therapy is happening again. But but we're both gonna always fight. So he appreciates being thought of.
That's awesome. Yeah, my my daughter's friend was admitted to conversion therapy, and he was,
oh my God.
Yeah, he was gone for, it was about a year.
Oh my God.
And they called it, but see now they're changing the names. They're calling it now boarding schools.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they're calling them boarding schools. They're calling them like all these other.
Was he in the
names.
U.S. or did they?
Yeah, he was in the U.S. He was in Montana.
Okay.
It was either Montana or Idaho or something like that. Like way like eastern Idaho or like way out there. Yeah.
Yeah, because Idaho is a mess. Mm-hmm. That is a mess. It is. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Katie. So, but he's back. Well, he's been back for a while, and actually, if I recall, I'll have to ask my daughter again, but if I recall, he actually escaped one, and he got put in another one.
Oh, that's so awful.
Yeah, he escaped one.
Oh my God. Is he still a minor or is he an adult now?
Yeah, he's still a minor.
Oh my God.
So
I hope he gets out of that house
as
soon as possible.
Yeah. we had to, it was right before he was going to go in, and I tried to help him, because what happened was, my daughter like went to his house to hang out, and then I found out that she was there without permission. He was there. She was there with a couple other friends, but her friend's dad didn't know people were there. And I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. And then that's when they told me what was going to happen. And so my daughter's friend didn't want to, left the house and didn't want to go home. And yeah, it was a bit of an ordeal. I had to I decided to take him to the police station so that his dad can come pick him up. And I just said, just be sure to tell him everything, just tell him everything that you know, and tell him why. That's the best we can really do. I didn't know.
So awful.
I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, I don't know if people really understand, because for people who don't know, they will just take the children. In the middle of the night. What happened to David is the people who were with the organization Escuela Caribe took him from his bed and forced him through the airport by a belt. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know what was happening. Just that his parents were sending him to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Yeah. My friend, or my daughter's friend, it was the whole hood in a car ride, on a long car ride.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. And then they took the hood off when he got there. So.
Oh, that's so awful. That's so terrible.
Yeah.
It looks like Matthew doesn't have much time, so we can let him up.
Okay, we'll bring Matthew up. All right. So yeah, that was just very heartbreaking. Matthew, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Could I start with your age and which pronouns you prefer people use for you?
My age, man. I'll give you my pronouns, but I'm old.
Are you over 18?
45.
Okay.
45, yeah.
Over 18. That's all I really need. Yeah. Okay. All right. And
he, him.
Okay. Thank you. And Matthew, which God do you believe in?
The God of the Bible.
All right. Great. Thank you. And what's your best evidence that God is real?
Because you're here, man.
Because I'm here?
Yeah, because we're here.
Could you elaborate?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't know if you heard me. I asked, could you elaborate?
Yeah, sorry. I said, so science would say that anything that has existence would have a cause. Would you agree with that?
Anything that has existence would have a cause. No, I disagree.
So you believe that something came from nothing?
No. Nobody believes that.
Okay. So, okay. Then it had a cause.
No. Because then by that token, you would say God has a cause. So what caused God?
Well, he's the uncaused cause.
Okay, he's the uncaused cause. And how do we know that?
The revelation through Scripture would be our evidence for understanding that he is eternal in scope and all those things. That, of course, I don't want to bore you with.
Yeah. How do we know that's true?
Rational revelation.
Rational revelation. What does that mean?
Yep.
I'm not familiar with that. Rational revelation.
Yep. So in the understanding of things, I don't know if you have kids or not. It doesn't matter. Kids. Okay. Kids exist. The cause of those kids are parents, of course.
Okay.
And so in that reality of that, there is a cause to existence for all of us on this earth.
Right. Now, planets aren't
we
kids,
all have,
though, right?
No.
Okay. Now, although we do have evidence of how planets form, that's gravity, right? So but the universe isn't a kid either. So how does this translate to the universe being?
Yeah, well, scientifically, the best evidence of existence are those things that we've seen, correct?
The best evidence, not entirely. I mean, it can be, but not.
So
not 100%.
so to use yours. Sorry, I don't mean to talk.
No. It's
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I was just saying not entirely. Not because there's plenty of things we have evidence for.
So
like for example, we have evidence of black holes, right? But we have evidence of black holes. Now we could observe them through telescopes, right? And then we know they're black holes because we have a good idea they're black holes, I should say, because of like the signatures they give off, right? And physicists do calculations and all that stuff, and then they realize, yeah, that's a black hole, and then they look like other black holes, but we haven't actually now. If you're saying seen, do you mean the same way that like I see my wife every day?
Observed.
Oh, okay. That takes a whole different meaning. Okay, yeah, observed. So we've observed black holes. So
right.
I would say everything that exists or everything we know to be true or real, we have observed. Yeah.
Right.
And we observe things in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And all of us have a different way of observing for sure. What I'm saying is through rational revelation. So to get back to that understanding, our rational mind, our ability to see the world as we see it, the view that we see things through our lens is our rationale. That's the way I would put that. Revelation is that we come to understand things in a supernatural way. So revelation is something that is given to us that would be what the Bible would put into understanding of mystery, or something that cannot necessarily be find its definition in and through like dreams, like black holes right now, like certain things. And so that's what I would say. And so the revelation, there's two forms in the Christian understanding of this, or the biblical understanding of this. One, the revelation of creation itself, that we can see around us, and that there is an earth, and that there are certain things that take place. So seasons, rotation of the globe, space, time, matter, those things, the observable universe,
right?
So to say, would fit into the rational means or understanding of things.
Okay, so you said revelation has come to understand things in a supernatural way. So Muslims believe jinn exists. So is that true?
Jinn as in the understanding of like the demonic?
It's not demonic. They're like just creatures with like genies, jinn. So in that sense.
Right. Well, okay.
So jinns exist, right? Because that's supernatural. It's these beings that just grant wishes. Yeah.
Do I believe that genies exist?
Well, yeah. Muslims. Well, they're called jinn, and I'm not
They're like
100%.
spirits.
Yeah, they're like spirits, and then they can wreak havoc or they can fulfill wishes. They have. It just depends on what their,
Yeah. So the Christian understanding of that would be the demonic.
Okay. So So you're saying that's demonic. How do you know it's demonic?
Well, through the scrutiny of Scripture, of understanding things.
Well, we're kind of going in a circle because I asked you, how do you know Scripture is true? And you just said, well, because of rational revelation. So what you're saying to me is jinns are demonic because the Bible says so, and the Bible is true, and you use rational revelation to determine that jinns are demonic, and the way you know that is because of the Bible. So we just went into a big circular argument. So we have no basis for understanding why the Bible is true.
Well, no, okay. So those are multifaceted things. You brought jinn into the.
Because you said it was coming to understand things in a supernatural way. Jinn are supernatural, so that means according to your definition of rational revelation, jinn exist. Jinn are real.
Right. Yeah, I believe the demonic exist. Yes.
Okay, but you call them demonic. Okay, but Muslims don't call them demonic. So how do you know they're demonic? And you would say through the Bible. And then the Bible is true is through rational revelation. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So if that's the case, then how do you know supernatural is true?
Well, because there are unexplained things that take place.
Yeah, that's that which can't be explained by science. But how do you know that it is these are coming from God or demonic or whatever you want to call them?
What is coming from God?
Well, supernatural things that they're, that they're just unexplained things. They're either demonic or they're holy. I don't know what the opposite of demonic is.
That's what you're putting.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to say, how do you know that these things are true? I mean, just because they're unexplained, that doesn't make them, okay. So there's the circular argument then. So through scripture, but how do we know the scripture is true? So you're saying rational revelation is true because of the Bible, and we know the Bible is true because of rational revelation. That's the circular argument.
No. So what I'm saying is there is a faith element that comes into to Christianity or any faith.
How does faith make it true?
Well, no, it's the revelation part of understanding that there is faith that is involved in anybody in belief of something. So
but how does faith make it true? Because I'm focused on what makes it true. Right,
and finding out what is true is the best effort that any possible person could do. When we started the conversation, the understanding of it was, what is my best evidence that God exists? And I would say, because there is something here.
Yeah. You said your best evidence is because I'm here. And so I had it up here.
Yep.
Yeah. And so kind of going back to that, like, how does me being here demonstrate that God is real?
Because you exist. Like, that's what I'm saying. Okay. There's a cause to existence.
There is a cause to existence.
I am just evidence that my parents did it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what we are evidence of.
Okay.
And
so where did all of this that we know, that we can see, the observable universe, in an atheist understanding, or at least in your atheist understanding of things, where did existence start?
We don't know, but why couldn't it be eternal? Why couldn't it always be here?
So you believe in an eternal...
That's the evidence we have. Yeah.
So science, universe.
That's what I believe.
Science says that in, 30 billion years from now, will our sun be here?
Probably not. I think there's a shelf life.
200. It's like 200 trillion years from now. Will there be any existence in the universe according to science?
According to science, yes, because it's eternal. It will always exist.
So there might be
a couple.
The stars will be burning. There'll be continual.
No.
So what
scientists?
Yeah, and what scientists think is that there could have been a series of big bangs and big crunches, or expansions and crunches. So we could be heading towards a crunch, and it could just expand again and create, a whole new set of planets and galaxies.
Yeah. So the rubber band theory.
Yeah.
So you believe that is true?
We have evidence for that. I'm not sure I actually believe it, but we have evidence for that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of scientists out there that would say that, through red light and all that other things, that the rubber band theory falls short now. Mm-hmm. With the existence of different understandings and things like that. Brian Cox being one of those guys who would put out there that the rubber band theory doesn't hold weight. And so Some atheists might believe that, but that's their faith in that one idea.
No, we have evidence for that.
It's not
Just
a
because
faith.
he dismisses it doesesn't mean that it doesn't, that it's not.
Well, you saying it's not a faith, there are other scientists that would conclude differently, even into the multiverse ideas that are coming out now.
But again, we have
string
evidence
theory goes, string theory goes opposed to the rubber band theory.
We have evidence of these things. That's different from having faith.
Yeah.
No, you don't have evidence of rubber band because it's been dismissed by a lot of scientists. So there's conflicting views of this.
Okay. So you're saying that since it's been dismissed, there's no evidence.
Well, what I'm saying is that you're trying to say that consensus would bring truth.
I didn't say that. I don't know where you got
should
that.
Should I believe the rubber band theory?
I don't even believe it, so I'm not going to tell you whether or not to believe it. I'm agnostic to it. What I'm saying to you, though,
the other girl, I'm sorry, her name. What? All I see is
their
calm.
name. Their pronouns.
Oh, there. Sorry, excuse me.
And also, adult.
Me,
I will say, please don't call adult females girls. Girls are not adults. But what I was saying is that is
conversation happens. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude.
Okay, it's condescending. Basically, hold on, Matthew. Basically, it is hold on, Matthew. You didn't laugh, the misogyny. You didn't laugh with anything that Trust was saying.
Name calling.
Oh my God.
No,
I did not call you a name.
It's calling out the behavior. That's what
I'm calling out your behavior, not calling you names. Dude, Matthew, chill the fuck out.
I'm not a misogynist, though.
Oh my God. You can still do misogyny. Just relax.
They said the misogyny. It was calling out your behavior. Didn't call you a misogynist. There's a difference.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I know I'm annoying, Vaughn. You can deal with it. What I was saying is that is what some scientists suggest. There are multiple, not scientific theories, but colloquial theories out there of how the universe has been eternal. If it is eternal, maybe a series of crunches and expansions, maybe not. But we are getting more evidence every day of an eternal universe.
Yeah, and my web outlay would work right. I can show you the Copenhagen survey.
So you're putting faith in articles that are written by men.
No, it is not faith. It is evidence.
Where did you get that evidence from?
Okay.
Do you know any scientists, Matthew?
Plenty. Yep. I know a lot of people at NASA.
So you know that scientists are giant nerds, right? Like
no,
they always want to be
that's
disproven.
That's terrible to say.
What nerd? It's not a pejorative. I'm a nerd. Goodness
well, you
gracious,
can call yourself
Matthew.
that, but some people might take offense by that.
Matthew, you are taking everything that I'm saying, you are taking out of context and taking it personally. Relax.
I'm not taking anything personally. Absolutely
yes,
not.
you are. I am not saying nerd as a pejorative. Just relax. Jesus Christ. What I'm saying is that scientists...
Oh, man, he's
Matthew,
good.
Stop. Jesus. So what we're saying is that scientists are not out here just trying to spread false things. They are constantly trying... Matthew, stop interrupting me. You literally did not interrupt Trust, but you will interrupt me every single chance you get. Stop it. What was stop unmuting? Stop unmuting. Basically, scientists are constantly trying to disprove themselves and disprove each other and trying to learn something new. They love learning something new. And the fact that you are unmuting constantly means that you are not listening to anything that I am saying. I feel sorry for your wife.
Okay. So let's take a look at this. This is the Copenhagen survey from 2024.
Sure.
And what that says here is this was 68% of scientists say that the Big Bang makes no claim about whether time had a beginning or not and should be understood only as the theory that says time evolved from a hot, dense state. So, and also says here, a theory that says the universe evolved from a hot, dense state that says nothing about whether there was an absolute beginning of time or not. So,
Sure.
yeah. So this is a solid consensus of astrophysicists who say this. So, again, we have evidence of an eternal universe. There are different interpretations of that. Like there's the many worlds, there's the rubber band that you called, there's the bubble universes. There's all these different interpretations. But what the majority will tell you is it doesn't say anything about the beginning of existence. So that's why I'm pushing back on what you said.
Sure.
That,
So my theory,
that the universe had a beginning. I don't believe
so.
that.
My theory of biblical Christianity and what the Bible puts toward creation is just as equally valid then toward that as anybody else, because there's no known knowledge of the
So what is your evidence? But again, what is your evidence that God created everything? What is your evidence of that? Like what
the scripture?
Okay, but that's a circular argument because you said the Bible tells me that.
Okay,
how do we know the Bible is true?
So yours is a circular argument too. Then
Scripture is the claim; it is not the evidence.
Because you're looking at the Copenhagen.
Okay, whataboutism is not going to save you here. This isn't a circular argument.
No, it's not a whatism.
Okay, but but this is pure. But we're basing this off peer-reviewed scientific studies. So
where did they get that from?
They conducted their own. Well, scientists, right? So
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So
I know a lot of NASA scientists. Yep.
Okay. So how do you suppose they get their data?
How do they get their data? Through observing things.
Observation and
right.
And how do they get their evidence? So
they get
their and postulation, and how else?
Well, hundreds of things. But mainly through the scientific method of
scientific
observing
method.
things.
Exactly.
Sure.
Okay. And so are you familiar with the method and materials process that they need to undergo? Where they have to.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're familiar with that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So So what is the method and materials process that you went through to conclude the Bible is true?
Well, that's where faith comes in. That's what I'm saying. Like there is always going to be faith when it comes.
So you said faith
to
right?
any. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So again, but you said you're familiar with the method and materials process. So take us through those steps of how you determine that the Bible is true. Take us through those steps.
Well, there's many things to find out if okay. So here's the thing: is the Bible a historical document? Yes.
No.
So I can take you. It's not a historical document.
It has historical articles in it. It has historical reference in it, but I would not call it a historical document. It's not a piece of history.
You don't believe it's 66 books written over time by different authors over different places
72 books, depending on who you.
Sure. Yeah,
or 78
absolutely.
books.
Okay,
so anywhere from 66 to 78 books. Well, 79.
It's a meta narrative.
Ethiopian Bible.
Sure, it's a meta narrative.
I wouldn't
written
call it historical,
over. So it's not a work of antiquity.
Yeah, it's a work of antiquity like Virgil's Aeneid. Yeah. Sure.
And so how do you know that and verify any of those things were actual documents written in the time that they claim to be?
Virgil's Aeneid, because of contemporary evidence. Like we have contemporary evidence of that. We have records of the Romans. We have records of a Roman emperor asking Virgil, asking Virgil to commission the book.
Sure. So external things written.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Yeah. So that's the book's existence. What I'm talking about is the contents of the book. How do we know the contents of the Bible are true?
Right. So I'm saying that you can verify the historicity of the scripture.
Sure.
By those same scrutiny that you would put any other book of antiquity under.
Perfect. So you should be a Hindu then.
I believe that the Bhagavad Gitas were written in the times that they
were written before the
sure.
Yeah. So you should. So since they're historical antiquity, we should all be Hindu, according to your logic.
No, that's taken a leap. That's where I'm saying is that then it comes to the revelation side of it. So the rational side of it is that they are works of antiquity.
Okay.
And those can be verifiable.
All right. Okay. So then that means Muhammad and Joseph Smith, because they developed their books through revelation. Okay. So then that means the Quran is true and the Book of Mormon is true and the Pearls of Great Price and the Doctrines and Covenants, all true.
The veracity of the claims of the book have to be taken on with faith.
Well, that's okay. So that's what, but how does faith make it true? I asked you that before, because you would agree Muslims have faith, Hindus have faith, Mormons have faith. So that would mean that all of their books are true since they have faith. And they have revelation. They have faith in revelation. They have the same ingredients that you're telling me that you have. So they're all true.
You can have sincerity and you can have faith in things, but they could be wrong.
Okay. So how do you know yours is true?
Through the revelation of Christ in my life, through what we understand in Revelation,
your personal
through
experience,
the power of the blood and the word of the testimony.
Your personal experience? Your personal experience?
Sure. Oh yeah. And it will come down to personal experience.
Okay. So then that means then that fairies are real.
If you have a personal experience with a fairy, you've had that?
No, I've talked to Wiccans who have. So fairies are real, right?
So by the definition of understanding through the scripture, that would be a demonic thing that would take place.
Yeah, but how do you know it's demonic? They call it
fairies
fairy.
are real. So fairies are real in the understanding of that. Yeah, sure. Fairies are real in the aspect that they would be a demonic presence.
And the monsters
that's your interpretation.
That's your interpretation.
Absolutely.
Like
and everybody's
how do you know? Wait, Matthew, how do you know that you have the absolute? Yeah, how do you know that you have the absolute truth and that everybody else is wrong?
You haven't demonstrated that at all. You're just going in big circles. So we're asking you, how do you know the Bible is true? And you're saying, well, it's personal revelation. Well, then that means all books that were personally revealed to somebody are true. That's essentially what you're saying.
That means Joseph Smith.
My faith
that means everything that Joseph Smith experienced and wrote down is true.
Yeah.
Because he had a personal experience. He said he had a personal experience with God who told him to write down those things. Same with Muhammad. Told him to write down those things.
Yeah. And they had faith too. So that means what they experienced in their faith makes it true, just like it does for you. So
so what are you saying? What are you defining truth as in that then?
Truth is that which lines up with reality, the dictionary definition. So what is truth to you?
The person of Jesus Christ.
The person of that's a truth is a person.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that doesn't make sense.
Even make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
So
that's like saying that's like saying this basketball is my sister. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, okay, so when I say that it's the person of Jesus Christ, it's the understanding that everything makes sense through his life, death, and resurrection.
But that's your opinion.
That's your opinion. Muslims don't
that's your opinion. Yeah, Muslims don't agree with you. Hindus don't agree with you. Like Buddhists don't agree with you. Like
but
none of the other
3,999
religions agree with you.
Yeah. Like 30% of the world agrees with you. The remaining 70% don't. So that doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah, consensus doesn't breed truth, though.
Exactly. And so, in a way, it goes the opposite. I'm just trying to express the point that just saying the things that Jesus said and did are true, that doesn't tell me anything about it being true. That's just another claim. So you're just stacking. You're just doing claim stacking.
Yeah, and it's not a consensus anyway because there's 3,999 other religions. We're not saying that there's a consensus. We are saying that there are thousands of other religions that disagree with your personal experience, that have personal experiences of their own and religious texts of their own that they believe has divine revelation.
Right. And so when we come down to the understanding of things, when I say my personal understanding is the revealed thing that has been taken into understanding what I have observed in my life. So for me, I can observe and say that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.
Okay.
There's no way but through him that we perceive reality, and that greatest reality of God.
Again, that's your opinion.
That's
Yeah,
your
you were
opinion.
taught that.
And so
Okay,
then I
you
could
keep
easily
saying that.
then I can easily say there are no gods because
Yeah.
as soon as I left
For sure.
Christianity, I became
that is the
sober,
beauty of
and
free
I've been
will.
sober for 13 years. So then that means
I
there's
mean,
no
I'm
gods.
so proud of you.
I'm doing
that
it.
is
I'm doing
awesome.
it based on. I'm just using the same exact reasoning you're using.
Sure.
Okay,
And
so
I want to be. I'm
okay.
being earnest here. Can
Okay.
I say this?
I hear.
Man, I have dealt with so many people in my life that have gone through the hell of addiction, and I just want to say this so we can come back to our argument. But I want to say, man, I am so, and this is deeply in my heart. I'm so proud of your sobriety, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
That is
thank you.
awesome.
I sincerely
'Cause
appreciate that.
It takes unreal self-control and ability to maintain. And
He
so
did it without a God.
that's fine. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
I did because I did.
Because he did.
Yeah, that's fine. But man, that's cruel to just.
What?
No.
How is that cruel?
If anything, I would tell anyone who is struggling with addiction to stop believing in a God. That's what I would tell. That's what I would tell anyone to do.
In his own strength.
Because
and with the support around him, he didn't have to rely on.
He
an
had others
imaginary
around
being.
him that helped him. I'm just going to tell you that.
Yeah,
I said
there's still
support.
people
I
that
also
support.
said
But there
support. I
wasn't
said
a God
he did it
involved
himself
in
with
that.
the support,
And
but
that's
there was
fine. That's
no
fine.
God.
You don't have to 12-step it or anything like that. I was just saying that I was proud of you. And then it was just like bam, like a right punch came in from the side. I'm not trying to.
Matthew, you don't have to take everything that I say so personally.
I'm not
really
taking it personally. I'm saying that was.
You
it was
are,
just rude
because
to-
everything I say, you
Okay.
have an
Anyways.
immediate emotional reaction to. So you can just chill
Congrats, the Nines.
Okay, I'm
whoever
chill.
said 23 years, congrats.
I don't understand why you keep saying that I'm taking things personally.
Thank you,
I'm not.
TikTok Chris, because you are. You keep arguing with me about the way that I am talking and the way that I say things and what I'm doing.
You're very
I was
condescending.
literally just saying, I'm not.
You are.
No, Matthew.
Take a vote on
I
that
am
one
not.
in the chat.
Stop. Oh my God, Matthew. You're saying you're chill. You're saying that you're not taking the things that I'm saying personally, but that's exactly what you are doing right now.
Okay.
So
I was literally just giving a fact that Trust did it on his own without a God.
I just
All right,
I
cool.
did it on my own, and they're absolutely right.
I'm just saying I'm proud of
I
you for that,
appreciate
man.
that.
I'm being sincere when I say
thank
that.
you for that.
So to get back to the argument, I'm sorry.
It's all right. So
and I'm gonna have to go. In just a second,
All I'm saying, Matthew, is that we got like 20 seconds left, but the thing I'm saying is that it's not moving the needle for us. And I'm
sure. And I'm not trying to.
I understand. What I'm saying though is that it's not me. The reason it's not moving the needle for us is because when I take the reasons you're giving me, and then I'm comparing it to other people and other beliefs, they can say the exact same thing to justify their belief in their God. And so if we're using all the same reasons to justify the belief in your own personal belief, how is any of this evidence? It just isn't.
Well, it'll come down to choice, and that's what the free will of our lives has. That is the ability to choose or to not to choose many a multitude of things.
We cannot choose to believe in things. That's scientifically proven. We can't.
No, you can choose to accept things though as reality or not.
Exactly. So how is this reality that God is real? That's not a reality for me. So
yeah, well,
I can't.
but I've accepted
so that would be
That's
that would be a
saying.
delusion to me if I just decided, if I don't have any evidence that God is real, I don't believe it, and then I just declared that God is real. That's either delusion or it's denial. It's lying, and I can't do that.
Well, it's being able to really, and that's what I'm saying is the greatest understanding for us as Christians is the resurrection. And so if the resurrection,
we don't have any evidence of that. We have no evidence of.
Well, I mean,
zero.
there's plenty of writings on this, and of course
there's
know
writings,
that.
but those are claims. We have zero evidence. Well, hey, listen,
well,
Matthew,
sure, but
are you going to stick around a little longer? Because I have to do a kick poll. If not, because you said I can't stay much longer.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay,
I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate you.
And if I see you on again, I'd love to continue the conversation.
Yeah, come back another day.
But yeah,
right.
and for I don't even know how to refer. I'm just saying I did not mean any ill will toward anybody on this in the respect of that, but it was I did feel like it was very condescending
Oh
from.
my God, Matthew,
You know.
just leave. Just leave.
honestly,
We're not
Okay,
going
I
to
will
be.
just leave.
kinda
We're not
gets
going
I'm
to
sorry
tone
that I
police.
offended
I
you.
have loud opinions.
All right.
I have a voice.
And
You
I'm
can
sorry
just
that I
chill
offended you. That's
and
what I was trying to
keep-
get to.
No, you
is
don't
I'm
have to
sorry
tone
for that.
police. You don't have to go meta. Trust and I are
I'm
chill,
not.
are fine. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying I apologize if I upset you. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
All right. Well, hey, Matthew, thank you and have a good day. Appreciate you.
Yep, you too.
right.
Don't be so fragile next time. Okay.
All right. So I think it's
I
just,
can't. I'm
just,
sorry. I can't apologize for that.
Oh,
I
no,
just
no. Femme presenting,
like-
and it's just obvious. I could totally see it.
Yeah,
Totally see it.
I'm not, and people complaining in the chat, I am going to be firm about misogyny and and my pronouns are they, them. Don't
yeah.
call me girl. My pronouns are they, them, just so
All
y'all
right.
know. I am non-binary.
Yeah. Any misgendering?
None of this.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but any misgendering, you're gonna get muted. Okay, just letting you know right now. So any dead naming, misgendering, anything like that, you're gonna get muted.
Yeah, totally fine. Thank you
Straight
guys
up.
for the gifts. I really, you don't have to do that. But I am going to stand 10 toes down. I am going to stand firm against misogyny and against. I'm not going to let men walk all over me. I'm not going to let men talk over me or interrupt me, and just like bow to their whims.
Yeah.
If they want to talk, they can wait until I'm done.
Yeah. And see, it's just funny because I'm a cis male. I don't have this problem with Ember, like at all. I mean,
Never.
never. It's not
Neither
a problem.
do I, and I'm a cis woman.
Yeah.
And my pronouns are she, her.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
I'm
that
a he,
fucking
him.
hard.
It's not. Yeah. And it's not. Yeah. It's not hard. And it's, Ember and I do not have this problem. Like we listen
You know
to
what's
each other.
funny? They say too that we have to accept Jesus, but then they can't accept a group of people who simply want to exist. That pisses
Yeah.
me off.
Yeah. And yeah. And Barbie,
Love you, Ember.
the thing is, Barbie, is that Matthew 28 verses 19 and 20 says nothing about the person being teachable. What it says is go and make disciples of all the nations and teach them to obey my commands. It says nothing about that. So if you've got the Holy Spirit with you, it doesn't matter how unteachable we are. What that means then, Barbie, is you're admitting that you're not a real Christian, that you don't have the Holy Spirit with you. So you should stop lying because, God spits out lukewarm Christians. So too bad for you. So you might want to rock up on your faith because it's not strong enough. And which is kind of surprising because you only need the faith the size of a mustard seed, and you don't even have that. If you're saying that if I'm unteachable. So come up and teach me, Barbie, because all you have to do is give evidence. That's all you have to do. It is such a low bar, and you have no excuse. No excuse at all. If you can't give evidence, Christians, you have no excuse because your Bible tells you, be prepared to give an accounting for anyone. Be prepared to give a defense for anyone who demands an accounting for the hope that's within you. You haven't given any accounting. I don't have to, Barbie. I don't have to give evidence he doesn't exist. If you don't believe that Brahma exists, then of course. You know what? Here, let's invite Barbie up. Now, what I would expect is that Barbie's not going to take the invite because 2 Timothy does say, I'm just assuming you're a female, that women should remain quiet and not teach.
Ooh.
So.
I need to drop for a little bit. I need to chat with a friend.
Okay.
But I will probably be back in a little bit.
Okay. Well, we'll see you when you get back.
Okay, bye.
All right. See you, friend.
Thanks again, everyone. You're amazing. Love you.
You're amazing too. And we love you too. All right. It's just you and me, Reckless.
All right. Hey, I wanted to let you know that we have a diagnosis for my son from a therapist.
Yeah?
For these nightmares. It's something called hadephobia.
Whoa.
Or hell phobia. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a thing. It's the intense fear of hell.
Wow.
And there's actual scientists. I actually talked about this in a couple of my lives, and it's the atmosphere of hell. And there's actually symptoms that go along with this:
Yeah.
rapid heartbeat, sweating, difficulty breathing. And as I'm listening to the therapist describe the symptoms, because he has these when he's going through these nightmares, my thought process is, why the fuck would you teach such an awful thing to children?
Yeah. Well, it's awful. It's abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I
especially
didn't know
when they
if you
start
ever,
indoctrinating them at like 4 years old.
yeah.
We were
So I
talking
didn't know
about
if
that
you heard
yesterday.
of that, and I was going to message you
No,
today
I
because I
haven't heard
found
of
this
it.
very interesting.
I haven't heard of it. But I'm sure, like, because we have Dr. Elijah and Dr. Joe, they could both probably give a lot better info about that than I can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Big Dot Tajay 55, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you today?
Doing pretty well, thank you. You're a little bit like faint. It's kind of hard to hear you. I don't know if maybe switch mics, move close to the mic. I don't know. Talk louder.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
That's much better. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, I had to put my phone to my mouth. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Can I get your age and what pronouns you prefer people use for you, please?
Yes, sir. So he, him, and I am 25 years old.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. Which God do you believe in?
Yes, sir. Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior.
Fantastic. All right. And what's your best evidence that God is real?
Yes, sir. So my best evidence is personal transformation, and also archaeological evidence that I've recently just researched or maybe found. I do want to visit it one day, pretty much, but yeah, I would say those are like my best evidence that God is real.
Okay.
At least to me.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So then I would, well, as far as the first one, transformation is concerned,
yes, sir.
We can pick people in every religion that have had a transformation. And then there's me.
Yes, sir. I totally agree.
I've had a transformation when I left a religion, when I stopped believing. So then that means that all beliefs are true, including, and all non-beliefs are true. Would you?
Yes, sir.
Of those, well, that doesn't make sense, because how can a God be real and not real at the same time?
Yes, sir. So, like I said, I'm no way in shape or form, just want to say this, putting down any other religions or anything like that. I could just honestly with that give my personal account with it in, the person could take it as true or false. I've been one of those that were, like you said, I was lukewarm. Like I said, I believed in God, but I didn't live by God. Like did premarital sex. I was smoking, I was drinking, I was doing everything that was not as well as gospel and, and stuff like that. And I know in every religion, people have had that, like even yourself, I listened to your testimony. You said, you became sober when you left Christianity, which I applaud you on your sobriety.
Thanks.
I hate to hear that, it had to happen like that, but hey, God teaches us to love all people. And even if you don't believe or not, I love you because God teaches us to be humble and to be meek. Like one thing I was reading was the Beatitudes, blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are those who mourn, blessed are those who seek and thirst for righteousness.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I've been doing a deep research. So for me, if you want me to give my personal transformation, that's just the way that I've come to the conclusion that God is real. Yes, sir.
Well, like I said, because that's for you. Your personal transformation tells you your God is real. But then again, a Hindu's personal transformation will tell them the Hindu gods are real, and so on and so on and so forth. We can do this for all 4,000 religions. And then again, we can do it for me. My personal transformation tells me that no gods are real. So that's kind of hard for me to accept as evidence, you see, because that would just be like, like a similar an analogy would be something to the effect of if I'm looking for evidence that my wife is home, right? And and I would find something that indicates that she's both home and not home. So like if her keys aren't here, that wouldn't be evidence that she's home and not home, right? You see what I'm saying? It would just be like so like one piece of evidence can't prove two opposite things. You see what I mean? Yeah,
I could kind of see what you mean right there. To be honest, as far as personal transformation, what you have said, I'll be honest, man. That's all I can do. And my honesty comes from being righteous in God.
Hey, no, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't really have an answer to that, or some questions.
Okay.
Like some questions people might have is like, some of them I have, but some of them like, why do people get sick? Or, I forgot her pronouns, but she just left.
Their pronouns. They, them.
For their pronouns. Thank you, sir. Thank you for correcting me. Their pronouns. They ask, well, okay, if God is real, why are some people born with disability? All I can do is go by scripture, but to you, if you don't like, hey, it's like one side, the example you said, then you're not going to really take that. And there's nothing I can really do. The best thing I could do is give it to you twice, like Paul said, and move on and hope that it plants a seed or something, or for you to see, you to see, because the best. Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish your thought. Go ahead and land the plane. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. At least to me, the best way you can find God is that you have to seek him out. And seeking him out, if you seek him out and he didn't do anything for you, then hey, that's you. For me, I sought him out and I seeked him out, and I actually did research. Like some of the stuff I found was one of them is the pool of Bethesda. So my whole thing is like, okay, if God is real, right, then at least some of these places that were in the Old Testament or some of the New Testament should be around, like the pool of Bethesda. They found that's in John chapter 5. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So again, okay, so we there's kind of a bit to unpack here. So, so why wouldn't you consider me asking for evidence of God seeking him out? Isn't that seeking him out?
So you asking me why? Well,
isn't asking for evidence of a God seeking him out? Because I want to know. I'm trying to get you to convince me. Like, I don't see. I think that's what. See, that's the thing.
Sir.
I think that's what people misunderstand about this. I'm asking for evidence because I want to be convinced. Right.
Okay.
I'm doing. I'm following what it says in your Bible. 1 Peter 3 verse 15. I said it when you were waiting. I just said it a few minutes ago. But I'm demanding an accounting. Right.
Yes,
and
sir.
so the accounting is like, when you like say have a like the IRS does an audit on you. You got to give them receipts. I'm asking for receipts. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm asking for receipts. And so you would agree though that, trust me, bro, is not a receipt, right?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's all I've gotten so far in this
Some
live.
people got to see it. Some people got to see it, or some people got to like be able to like maybe physically like with some people, like for instance, if I say, hey, the sky is blue or something like that, you might look up and see, hey, the sky is blue. So that's like the best analogy I could give. Somebody also just looking at the comments, research the Council of Nicaea. I have, and I kind of understand that, but that doesn't shake my faith, at least, know. Well, some of this stuff, like
focus on me. You're having a conversation with me, not the comments, but
okay. Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think where I'm getting at though, is that like, yeah, the sky is blue because we can just literally look outside and look at the sky, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm talking about though is if somebody said to me, no, actually the sky is red, and it just said, well, because my experience tells me that doesn't tell me anything, right? That doesn't say anything for me. If I say it like this, if I tell you that I levitated and spit fire this morning, now would you just automatically believe me?
No.
Okay. Now, if I told you it's because of my experience, that's how I know I levitated and spit fire. Does that move the needle at all for you?
No, I guess it wouldn't.
Okay,
I can see where you're going with your analogy with the personal transformation. I can see that for sure.
So it's an extraordinary claim, right? So that's what I mean. It's an extraordinary claim, and so this requires way more than because I experienced this. We need a lot more than that. And so but that's what I was alluding to when I was saying earlier, the bar is so low. All right. Yeah. It even though the bar is low, really low, personal experience doesn't do it, because again, you can say that about any belief. It's just my personal experience, my transformation, that tells me that Brahma is real. That tells me that Wiccan is real, because that tells me that the Greek gods are real. You can insert any god in there, and then that tells you the same thing, and then basically it's true. And see, that's hard, right? And then if we go to the archaeological side, we have archaeological.
Yeah, that's my best place. Real quick, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. That's one of the things that I use to prove as well. Like, if this wasn't real, then why is Jesus the most documented? Like, or let me ask you, do you believe that Jesus of Nazareth, just exclude divinity and miracles, do you believe Jesus of Nazareth was a real person
I
based on
am
manuscripts, documents, and evidence? Because many historians, especially people who weren't Christians, like Flavius Josephus, he was
easy.
a Jewish historian. He was a Jewish historian that didn't believe. Tacitus, Pliny the Younger,
Yeah.
they all tested that Jesus was real. Also, Pontius Pilate, they have an inscription of him, part of the archaeological evidence that he was real. Like that was a real person,
I don't think it
pretty much.
matters. I'm actually agnostic to it, to be honest. I know a lot of fellow my friends who don't believe Jesus existed, and and between us, like between me and my friends,
Yeah.
it's a non-issue.
Okay.
I'm not going to die on that hill with them, over that with them about that with them. I'm not going to die on that hill. It's really because the other part of it though is that so they have their reasons for not believing that. I've seen both sides of it, right? And yeah, honestly, I'm just right on the fence. I don't know. But that doesn't matter because it doesn't demonstrate, even if he did, even if I just say to you, yeah, let's just say I believe you that Jesus did exist, doesn't prove divinity. Just because a person exists, you would agree, doesn't prove a divinity, right?
Yeah, no, I understand that. That's
Okay.
because I actually had a conversation with somebody that I wouldn't say they're atheistic, but they're like more Scientology. So they don't believe in God, but they believe in science. But even they proved believed in the validity or the claim that Jesus was a real person, that he actually walked this earth from the documents and what have historians have researched about him.
So that being the case, since we can demonstrate that Buddha is a real person, Buddha actually achieved nirvana, right?
Oh, okay, that was pretty good there. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. And since we can demonstrate that Muhammad is a real person, Muhammad took a winged horse to heaven, right?
I haven't researched any other religion, so to be honest, I don't know if they were real people. Hey, the science proves that they were real people. They actually existed. I won't say, hey, they weren't real, like they didn't really existed. But it's like
we
how
have
you said,
evidence of them existing. So that means that these supernatural claims are true, just simply because they existed. You see what I mean? Doesn't prove divinity at all.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
And so then if we do a bit of a deeper dive in the archaeological evidence, we can do I'm doing like a symmetry here, right? A symmetry analysis. Yeah. So we have archaeological evidence of the demonstrating that the Quran, there's archaeological evidence that's contained for the Quran. They found actual cities. They know, Mecca, Medina, people have they've verified that people mentioned in the Quran and Hadith actually existed. The same with the Bhagavad Gita, the holy book of Hinduism. All kinds of archaeological evidence, all kinds of historical figures they've demonstrated are real. So that means those are true, right?
Hey man, I haven't really researched into that, so I don't know for sure true. But if they are real archaeological evidences and they are proven to be valid in the archaeological side, like hey, this is archaeological evidence, then hey, I can't argue with the archaeological evidence, especially when it's right in front of you.
Okay,
that would be in a logic. Like, that wouldn't be logic. Pretty much.
Got you. Yeah, I hear you. So now, just based on that, since you use archaeological evidence to say, hey, the Bible is true. If you went and researched
historically aligned as well.
Yeah, and so if you went and researched
scriptures of the Bible,
right, and so if you went and researched Hinduism and you found out all of these things, these historical facts and these archaeological facts that line up with the Bhagavad Gita, would that mean that you would become a Hindu?
No, sir.
Why not though?
Personally, for me, man. This is personal. You could get me on this because it's personal and it's opinion. And I guess it just really, my strongest evidence is just really, honestly, personal transformation. Like you got to experience it and be in it to really do it. Now, for you, like you said, you were in it, like you said, and you was like, hey, it just didn't work for me. Me, I have, I'm on the opposite end because,
it didn't work for me. Yeah. But
yeah, I know, I understand. And for me, I went through addiction with certain stuff as well, but for me, God led me out of that. So for me, God worked for me. When nothing else.
Important things you got out of it. Well, yes, so then, would you be willing then to go visit a guru and work with a guru to have that personal transformation?
That's a good question.
Because what if you had the person? What if you did work with the guru? You did the Vedas. You did the lament. You know, the incantations. You did the meditations, and you had an experience. You had a Hindu experience. Would that cause you to convert to Hinduism?
I'll be honest with you, man. If that happened and I did do that, I could see maybe the validity to it. But at the end of the day, it's what comes to the ultimate question, what do you choose pretty much? And even if I did all that and it happened, for me, I'm just too rooted in Christ to do it. I could go try it out. I'm not disproving your theory, at least trying out the hypothesis.
Yeah, I
Hey,
got you.
the best way to sometimes prove something is false is you have to try it out. And that's just thinking logically about it
Right.
and doing it. But at the exact same time, just because I do it and maybe there's a validity in it, I'm going to stick with Christ because that's ultimately what I love. And I love God for who he is and stuff, not just what he could grant and just for all what he's did to me. It's just that loyalty that I have to God.
Well,
yeah.
Why? So how do you know it's actually Christ? What if it was Brahma from the Hindu religion that was doing all that for you? Wouldn't you want to know that?
Well, hey, no, that's actually a great question. Thank you for asking. To me, if that is known and it was revealed to me, maybe, but so far, I've dealt with God, Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and been convicted by the Holy Spirit to stay rooted in him for what he's just done for me, because the way it's worked for me is the Holy Spirit has helped me, guided me. Jesus is the Son of God. He provides the way, he's the Word of God. And then you have the Father, which plans and executes and does everything, one God, just, three persons pretty much. But, it's just what's really worked for me and helped me. I know personal transformation to some people doesn't do anything, and they're just like, okay, well, all these other religions have had it pretty much. But that's the best way to me God was proved, is that I actually did it. I actually tried to live my best by the gospel, turn away from sin, learn about the consequences of sin, why it's so dangerous, why God is just, that can only come from understanding of who God is, having a relationship with him, and surrendering yourself to him.
Okay.
Which you could do. You could probably do with other religions as well. But for me, I did that with God, and it just worked for me. It just clicked.
Right. But I guess what I'm kind of going with this is because there's another layer to this. There's another layer to Hinduism. Hinduism has this idea called the Maya. And the Maya is what they describe as the world that's pulled over your eyes. So it's a delusion. It's just one big illusion. And so according to Hindus, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, that's an illusion. It's actually Krishna or Brahma working in your life to try to get you to understand reality and understand the truth. And what they would say is, oh, well, you're not ready for the truth. That's why you only see the illusion. That's why it's pulled over your eyes. So how would you be able to convince a Hindu that it is actually not the Maya, the illusion, and it's actually the Holy Spirit?
The Holy Spirit, how would I be able to?
How would you be able to convince? Yeah, what method could we use to help convince a Hindu?
That's a good question. Hold on, I'm just taking my time and really think about it.
Think about it. Yeah, because like the implications are if they're telling you, bro, it's an illusion. It's not really. Yeah, it's this is Brahma doing all that. And it's just because you're not mentally ready to be a Hindu. You've got to go through the Vedas. You've got to go through the Upanishads. You've got to meet with a guru. You've got to do incantations. You got to do meditations. That's why. But see, you're feeling something. It's some type of spirit. It's just not the right one. It's not. You have to go through all that to lift the veil from your eyes and see the truth.
Yes, sir.
But see, you don't believe that, right? Because I'm telling you this, you're not believing any of this. So how would you? Yeah. So that's the implication that I'm talking about. So so I'm just filling in. I'm giving you extra data to help you understand where I'm coming from. So that's what I ask you. How would we be able to convince? How would you be able to convince them? No. It's not that at all. It's the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Okay. Good question. Let me think about that.
Yeah. Take your time.
Yes, sir. I guess, like I said before, I know it might sound like a broken record, but for me, the best way you could convince them that, hey, man, it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and it's not just the illusion, is just, I guess, for me, at least, it would be prayer. Does prayer work? Maybe
Okay.
what you ask, what you see, and basically like that. And also, when I meant, just to touch upon your thing earlier, because when I say like seek God out, I mean, as us, at least to me, Christians' job, are people in the faith, his job is just to plant that seed. God,
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe in God. God's going to lead you to where you want to go, if you truly seek him out. That's for you, because you can't always accept what I say is true, because I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm human. I sin just like anybody else. I don't think I'm above anybody else. That's why before I said I would never put anybody's other religion down, even though I don't believe in it.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
God
It's
said,
just a lack of belief. That's all I'm getting at. Yeah, we're not putting it
yes,
down
sir.
necessarily. It's just a lack of belief. Yeah, but that's
Yes,
not
sir.
putting it
Yes, sir.
down. You're just not. You just
Yes,
don't
sir.
believe it. You're not convinced.
Yes, sir. And then
Yeah,
Jesus
that's
said, we have a hope. It's our job to defend our hope, but do it with love and kindness and be humble
of
about it.
course. Yeah, exactly.
You can't basically you
Absolutely
can't.
right.
Yes, sir. You can't want to disprove or say stuff about other people. And that he gave the analogy like, your neighbor might have a plank in their eye, but how can you go and tell them, hey, about the plank in their eye, and you don't look at what's in your eye? So, that's pretty much like the best I can probably say about
Right.
it, is that, with that, you got to seek it out for yourself. You got to redo the research and everything for yourself. And
They would
if
tell you
you
the
come to
same
the
thing, though.
conclusion,
Yeah, they would
oh
tell you
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
same
true,
thing. So
true, and
would
I
you?
accept it.
So then,
I
would you
accept
be willing to
that.
go to a? Because if you're asking a Hindu to pray to the Christian God, does that
Yes,
mean
sir.
that you would be, if they said the same thing? Because they would say the same thing to you. Yeah, you gotta go seek out Brahma. You have to seek out Krishna. You have to seek out Vishnu. Would you pray to those gods to find out if it's real?
I'll tell you this: I wouldn't pray to them, but I would at least go and do research about it to see what I can
Okay.
find, and if
How?
it's valid.
Okay. Well, how do you expect a Hindu to do the very thing that you won't do?
Hey man, hey, I knew where he was going with it. Hey, you got me
Yeah.
with that one for sure. Yeah, I can't
Right.
tell them, if they're deep in their faith, like how I'm deep in their faith, that might prove to be something not good for their faith or not good to their God.
Right.
And
But
they
doesn't
might not
it
want to
bother
displease
you
them.
though that maybe they might be right? I mean, doesn't that even like stick in the back of your mind? Maybe they're right.
Oh
And
no,
what if,
no sir, not
like, wouldn't you want
no
to
sir,
believe in
not at
things?
all.
Don't you want to believe in things that are true?
Yeah, no, I do seek. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm a guy that seeks truth, but that's
Sure.
where the Bible comes in, because, for instance, right, I'm one of those that I seek and thirst for righteousness, or at least I try to. And in that, there's a verse in Proverbs. I think it's either Proverbs 9 or 10, where it talks about those that seek out righteousness, like a thing, or maybe you can look at it as like a check mark. That I truly believe is people who seek out righteousness and truth. They hate, they detest fakeness. They don't like that. They want to seek
Yeah.
out truth, not be fake. And I believe that Jesus shows that, and the Bible shows that, because, and not only historically now, I don't know if everything is historically accurate, because I'm still reading and researching, because there's so many layers of the Bible, and everything in the Bible, you have to look at the context of the situation, not always just what it said, but the context with it, because what does
Yeah,
it
sure.
actually mean? What is the
Absolutely.
truth? What is the truth behind it?
I think where I'm
yes,
getting
sir.
at with this though, where I'm kind
Yes,
of
sir.
getting at with this is that their religion is saying the exact same thing that your religion is saying.
Yes, sir. I totally understand
The
that.
themes are all the same. And
Yes,
so if the
sir.
themes are all the same that justify your belief, that justify their belief, and a lot of the themes that you're saying are all the same in Islam. A lot of the themes you're saying are all the same in Zoroastrianism, in Sikhism, in a lot of religions, in Wiccan, in North paganism. They're all the same. And so even Scientology, they have, you alluded, I think, did you mention knowing somebody in Scientology? Was that you, or maybe that was a previous guest? But
That was me. The one
yeah,
person that I talked to that doesn't believe in Christianity, she
yeah,
says she believes totally just in Scientology and just
yeah,
science.
yeah. So it says it the same thing in Scientology. It says that that weak-minded people don't believe in Scientology. Now, so does that mean that's true? I mean, because so I mean, they're all, so like I said, they're all saying the same thing. So if they're all saying the same thing that you're telling me,
Yes,
then
sir.
how am I supposed to know which one of these are the true belief? You see?
To
You
be
see the
honest, yes,
dilemma,
sir.
man? You see?
Oh,
You
yes,
see?
sir. Yes, sir. No,
Yeah.
I totally understand. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Or
No,
if
you're
I
good.
did,
You're good.
yes, sir. No, I totally understand. And ultimately, the best answer I could come up with, because there's also people, I would take anybody in the chat as well as you. There's people smarter than me in Christianity that could prove it way better than I could. So, I wouldn't just always take my word for
I've
it.
talked to a
stuff
lot,
like that.
and I push back against that. You're very well spoken, and you're articulating yourself well. And I've been doing this for going on 2 years and nothing. So,
Oh no, man, trust me. I've met way more people like
they sound
another
like
guy.
it, but they're really not.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well,
They
a
just
guy
they can
I
just
would
say it in a
definitely.
better way. That's all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. But
Yeah.
no, like a guy for me that I just real quick, and I'll come back to the topic. A guy I would implore people to look at is a guy named his name is Jason Wilson. Pretty much, he's on YouTube. What he teaches and stuff. He's a very seasoned man in Yah. All the questions you have with me, for me, he's older than me as well. Like he could probably answer them pretty much to the T. Good. There's people that are in science that believe in God that they could prove like logical. Like I'm just one small part in like a big machine of being in God and proving God. Like I don't even know everything, and I'm still researching, finding some stuff. This is stuff I've researched, but like there's many people way more smarter. Like I don't know. Trust me, I don't know everything, and I'm only like 25, so like there's people way more smarter than me. I understand. Like even people that are non-believers are smarter than me and stuff. Like I'm not like I said, I just don't want to be the only representation when there's many other people that can represent Christ even better than I can. And Jason Wilson is one of them that I will attest to. Also, what's his name? Cliff something?
Oh no, not Cliff Connectly. No.
Oh, okay. I understand that. But Bryce Crawford, he's another good one. Bryce Crawford's younger than me. He could probably tell you a lot better about some stuff. So, but I do seek out like knowledge and truth, and like in that you have to be logical about some stuff. And yeah, it's not wrong to be logical about God. There is the spiritual sense of it, and spiritual isn't always logical, but I believe that because ultimately science can't always prove everything. I do believe there are some science that is real. Like there's scientific things like gravity, like all that is like science is proven, but science to me sometimes just proves how stuff works, but not not the way it is. And sometimes
but
it can't.
But see, the thing is though, is that if we kind of take it from that perspective, because if we're just simply saying, well, science can't prove it, therefore God is real, but God can prove it. But see, don't we have to prove God too? Like, just simply
that's where the God of gaps argument comes in.
Exactly. So we have to, so we have to demonstrate that this God is real. So then we can then say, yeah, God did this, right? Simply saying God did this doesn't tell us anything, right? It doesn't really say anything, because because then I could just say, a farting unicorn did it. And all right, well, how do we know? Norse pagans will say, that that it was the ones who came before the gods that did this, right? That they created everything. Yet, and they would say that, and we have no idea if that's true. Greek gods, they believed in titans. Well, how do we know that's true? And then who created the titans? So then you have this issue, like we just keeps going back and back and back, and
right.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing is, it's just what it sounds like is, if we've gone over the personal transformation, we've gone over the archaeological with you, and then other religions have that. So what else is there that keeps you believing?
So besides archaeological and personal transformation, I guess the only other thing would be in a spiritual sense, like that I believe in God, because spiritually it just fine tunes to who I am. And I know other religions, like I said, you got a really good point. It's like, hey man, all these other religions, and that's been brought up to me, especially even by my brother. He believes in Christ, but he even said like, hey man, there's all these other different religions. So how do we prove like Christianity is the best, like the realism of it,
the real deal, right?
the real deal, and then the other ones are fake. And there are some things that, yes, you can prove like in other religions that are absolutely, truly false. And even, and, you know, but I don't want to get into that because, you know, I don't want to like get anybody like riled up or anything like that. You know, I have like my weapons for some of those things, but you know, at the end of the day, I always like to be respectful because I also believe as people and rooted in Christ, we are the ambassador. Jesus gave an example when he did the Sermon on the Mount about how we are the salt of the earth, pretty much, and that we are the light, pretty much. And that could be, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's not good people. There are good people that don't believe in Christ. You know, they're good and stuff like that. But you know, as people in Christ, we have to be a representative of that as well. So, yeah, I might not believe other people's religions and stuff like that, but at the exact same time, you can be respectful. And that's all it comes down to, being respectful and being righteous. And like I said, honestly, just to
I have a question.
to be really big about it, the best way, in my opinion, that I've seen just logically that you can prove Christ's will is just really how you live your life and being a light to others. That's to me the best way. But I know for somebody that's more logical, looking at the science, like, hey, I may need a fit, like something to see, you know, that might not be enough. You know.
Hey, Vic, do you think it's respectful? Do you think it's respectful of other people if you sit there and tell them to pray to your God, but then when they ask you to pray to theirs, you say no?
Oh, okay, yeah, you got me. You got me on that one. So I actually want to retract my statement because yes, I love my God so much that I will not pray to any gods and I will put no gods above them. But what I will do to respect that person is I can at least go do research about what they're talking about. So that's the best way I can show my respect. So I do want to retract my earlier statement about
that's fair.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
see, that proving that I'm human and hey, I make mistakes, you know. So
yeah, I just find this whole entire thing, and this isn't. I don't want to imply intention here, but it just seems kind of disingenuous to me.
Okay.
Because, like, everything Tress has said, or everything that you brought up as a reason that you have your faith, everyone has the same claims, and yet you find yourself in a position where you seem as if you believe yourself to be somewhat superior to all these other people.
No, sir, not at all. I never once said I'm superior to anybody, and I don't believe
just
that
for the fact. Well, just for the fact that you would sit there and tell people to pray to your God,
okay,
and then you say that you won't pray to theirs. That's a claim of superiority.
Well, hey, man, if that was, I didn't realize it, and you know, I want to apologize on my behalf. Right. You know, I didn't really, you know, that wasn't the intent, but I understand that intent doesn't always do the other person good, pretty much. So
I got you.
That was never my intent to prove that I'm superior. I believe in like the true gospel, and the true gospel shows, if you read your Bible, that you're not above anybody. Everybody has sinned. We all fall short of the glory of God each day. The people that do believe. So, you know, I'm not above anybody, you know, pretty much. And I never wanted to give that notion. So I apologize about that. I did.
All right. Well, hey, Big Tajay, the chat has voted to move on to the next guest, and we got a pretty long line. So I'm going to get going. But hey, I appreciate you coming up.
Hey, man, thank you pretty much, too.
Yeah, it was a good conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
yes, you have a great day.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Yo, Tiny Science. So, yeah, I know we went over that but yeah, I think that was the central theme, Hammy. It was, you know, if it's kind of like this, if you've got, I think I've said this to you before, but if you've probably heard me say this before, but this is more for the chat. So there's those of you who haven't heard this from me, but if you've got this math problem that nobody knows the answer to, and you've got 5 different people who swear they know the answer, and these 5 people take all of the exact same steps and they all come up and there's 5 different answers. How are we supposed to believe any of them?
And to make matters worse, one of those 5 claimed to sit there and say that they have the truest of answers. Mm-hmm. And then to say that when someone's like, oh, well, look at my work. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I don't need to. Yeah.
You just have to look at mine. You just have to look at my work to see that I have a true answer.
and then they'll find, but wait, I'm doing this. I'm doing the exact same thing you just did. Well, you didn't come up with the right answer. I don't know what to tell you. And so that's the, so this is kind of what this is what we're getting. This is what I was getting at. Speaking of the right answer, hi Philly, how you doing? Philly is always the right answer.
Always right.
Always
never
the right
wrong. Hammy will back that up too.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
yes, yes. And he does concur that Philly has all the right answers. And so if you're asking a question of me or Philly, you better ask Philly, because Philly will give you the right answer.
Yeah. Better yet, she even has all the right questions. So
I like questions better anyways.
Me too, actually. Me too.
Somebody says Gabby Hammy is a no less person. I mean, facts.
Yeah, I guess.
So. Are you Gabby Hammy?
Less than others. No, it said Gabby Hammy.
Gabby Hammy.
Gabby Hammy.
Yeah, I think they're trying to say that I'm a talkative person and I know less than other people.
Oh, okay.
Which I mean, facts.
Got it. D-Truth, how you doing?
I'm grateful, brother. How you doing?
Hey, doing well. Can I get your age and what pronouns you prefer people use for you?
I'm 32. I'm a man. So
you're a man.
Him,
okay.
I suppose.
Him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And which God do you believe in?
I don't believe in a specific God. I believe there is one infinite creator that created all of existence.
Okay.
And it is embodied in every single aspect of creation.
Okay. So you believe in a creator that created the creation and it's embodied in all aspect of creation. Okay. And what is your best evidence that that is true?
The best evidence I would say, I would correlate it with consciousness. All right. Could I start there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, consciousness and awareness, they have similar aspects, but obviously they're different. We are aware, obviously, of the conversation we're having right now. I could ask you, if you can answer for me, what was the very first memory that you ever had since when you were a child?
The earliest memory I have was falling off my tricycle when I was like 2.
Yeah, but before that, what was that? Oh, I thought somebody said something.
Oh, yeah.
I said for me, it was my 3rd birthday party.
Right, the third. Right, amazing. I think it's pretty interesting that like we were aware before we had those memories, but we weren't conscious of the events that we were having.
Yeah.
Just like we weren't conscious of, or we wasn't aware of like being in the womb and things like that. And I think the creator exists throughout all of creation, but it's at different frequencies and different vibrations of consciousness and of awareness. So, for example, one of the lower forms of consciousness would be like bacteria, right? It's alive. Even plants, they're alive. They're conscious beings, but they're not aware. And then you have human beings who are conscious and aware.
Okay.
And I think there are forms of consciousness that transcend our conscious awareness as well too. And there's everything in between.
Right. Well, I don't think science would agree with you that bacteria and plants have consciousness.
I think science does prove that. I don't know if you want to look it up, but the fact that the fact that they eat, the fact that they grow, the fact that they communicate with each other, those are all
growing.
Yeah.
Eating and growing does not equate to consciousness, right? Because it just means that they have sensory input to be able to know where something is relative to them.
Right. So that's consciousness. We can look up what consciousness is, and even if you look up, I was doing a little research earlier because I studied certain things about consciousness, and I was asking basically, are atoms conscious?
Any useful definition of consciousness would always include like the awareness of self.
Well,
Now they
when I
don't. They are not
that's human
usually
consciousness. I'm talking
like.
about lower form. There are lower forms of consciousness because even scientists and
No,
theologians they argue if
I'm just talking
atoms
about
are
consciousness in general.
I'm aware of that, and that's what I'm saying. Those are lower forms of consciousness because they are not aware. Just like you, before
Again,
you,
again,
bef-
the you're
before
not
you,
listening to what I said, D. You're not listening to what I said. I'm saying that the definition of consciousness that includes awareness of self is a general idea of consciousness. It's
Okay,
not just human consciousness.
Can I jump in real quick? I just found a scientific study here on PubMed Central, on the NIH.gov website, and it says here, this I'm just reading the abstract, claims that plants have conscious experiences have increased in recent years and have received wide coverage from the popular media to scientific journals. Such claims are misleading and have the potential to misdirect funding and governmental policy decisions. After defining basic primary consciousness, we provide new arguments against 12 core claims made by the proponents of plant consciousness. So, 3 important new conclusions of our study are plants have not been shown to perform the proactive anticipatory behaviors associated with consciousness, but only to sense and follow stimulus trails reactively, which is what Hammy was alluding to. Electrophysiological signaling in plants serves immediate physiological functions rather than integrative information processing as in nervous systems. And 3, the controversial claim of classic Pavlovian learning in plants, even if correct, is irrelevant because this type of learning does not require consciousness. So, this study here that is peer-reviewed says plants are not conscious.
well, of course, there are a lot of different studies and that say different things. I've seen some that say similar things and things that say other things. But one thing that we
Sure.
know throughout existence of creation is at one point we think we don't know anything about a subject and then we run into new information just like we weren't
Absolutely.
conscious of certain things until we came into the awareness of those things,
Right.
and there are things that exist that we are not currently aware of because we're
Okay.
not in the space and time to be able to take in that information.
Well, what I'm trying to kind of get at, because I mean, this kind of went off in the weeds a little bit, but what I'm trying to understand is how does consciousness and awareness demonstrate that a God is real? Because from what we know, from what we understand through science, consciousness originates in a brain, and that's what this study says. So, that's what I'm trying to understand from you. If our science says that it originates in a brain, how does that demonstrate a God is real?
Well, that one study says that, but there is plenty science that we can still look at that says
Yeah,
that
I can
that,
pull
that
up
even
many more. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I
actually
mean you
reading a
can look
book
at
on that by Robert Sapolsky, who's a neuroscientist, and which says the same thing. It's pretty much dominates the scientific field. So, but do you have any papers that demonstrate that consciousness comes from outside of the brain?
that consciousness. I felt like that's just
Originates
very
outside
common.
of the brain. Yeah. What scientific peer-reviewed papers do you have that show that consciousness originates outside of the brain?
Well, I'm currently driving, so I can't pull up
Oh,
anything
you're
specific
driving.
at the
Okay, I
moment.
gotta let you go.
Uh,
Can't drive in live. Sorry.
no, I got a head.
Yeah, can't even headphones. Yeah. So, man, those noise canceling things are really good because I
Pretty
didn't
good,
have a
yeah.
car. Either that or you had an
The
electric
prob-
car. Yeah.
The problem is that it's against TikTok's terms of
Yeah.
service.
It's against TikTok terms of service. Yeah. So, and also,
Would you
really
mind?
shouldn't drive in live. Yeah.
Safety.
Would you mind if I address something from the comments that is a little too long for me to put in?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah,
in a
go ahead.
message.
Yeah.
So abandon 4L. I don't know how to say your name, but anyways, I failed to see how I shouldn't be able to talk a lot just because I'm humble enough to say that there are people who know more than me.
Right.
Because he said things like, he's like, is he saying that, am I saying that I talk a lot but know nothing or something like that? I was like, I'm humble enough to realize that there are people who know more than I do. And he's like, oh, but you still talk a lot. And I'm like, yeah. And I ran him through this whole entire thing where it's like, do you think that you know everything? Like, do you know more than everybody else? He was like, no. I was like, do you feel like, does that mean then that you should not talk or not talk about things? And he said no. So, I felt to see why I shouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah.
Because
I hear that.
other people know more than me.
Yeah, absolutely. Ned the Wino, how you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
All right, good to hear. And could I get your age and what pronouns you prefer people to use for you, please?
Yeah, 59, us and we.
Us and we?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Which God do you believe in?
Jesus.
All right. What is your best evidence that God is real?
The Shroud of Turin.
Shroud of Turin? Okay. What about the Shroud of Turin?
And, oh, well, that's just one of them, but it's just like, how you say, it's like an equation.
Like an equation?
Like I look at it like that. A plus B equals C.
Okay.
And C is reality. So you got protons and electrons and protons plus A equals reality. Is that correct?
Okay. So protons, electrons plus A equals reality? What is A?
A is God.
A is God. Okay. And how do we know A is God?
Because that's the space. Well, it's the God particle, actually. It's the matter that's in between the protons and neutrons. Protons and electrons.
How do we know that?
Because we used a particle collider to find it back in 2012.
Oh, you're talking about the God particle that they're trying to look for. Oh, well, that's just a name
they
for
found
it,
it.
right?
Yeah, they actually, it's called the Higgs boson, I believe. But
right. But it's just a name for it. It's actually not a God. It doesn't point to God. They just call it that.
Of course. Yeah, that's the nickname for it.
Yeah, but it's not. That's actually doesn't demonstrate that God is real. Just
Wait, the particle?
The God particle, Higgs boson. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ned. It's short for the goddamned particle.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason why they call it the God particle.
They got the name from a book, so it's just a nickname for it.
It's just a nickname, but that doesn't demonstrate God is real. It's just a name.
Because there's a variable, and I was listening to somebody said it's called the gap of the gods, where
God
when you don't have God of the gaps, and that's where they say God exists. But when I go back to the Shroud of Turin, it was just fascinating. Because when I looked on it said it took. Wait a minute. Quick question. Do you believe in aliens? Yeah. Do you believe in aliens? Atheists believe in them? Or do you believe humans are the only intelligent life in the universe?
I would say that I do I do believe in some type of alien life form. Whether or not they're intelligent, I don't know.
Okay.
I say that alien life is possible, but
it's possible, but
probably
we don't have any evidence.
Is probably not.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's no evidence as of yet.
Yeah.
But if there was evidence that proved that there was a higher intelligent being amongst us, they would just call it aliens, or would they consider that to be a god if it can do miraculous things?
I mean, it just really depends. But I mean, what we're talking about is in terms of what God means is a mind that created the universe. That's really what I'm focused on. So so if there's like a higher, like an alien life form that has a higher intelligence than us, I wouldn't necessarily consider that a god. Unless you show me that alien life form created the universe, which that would be hard to prove. Probably impossible. So
But would it be possible for it to prove that it just created the earth?
Well, which is fine. I still wouldn't consider it a god.
Oh, okay. But it'd just be a higher being.
Yeah, just a higher being.
So you
better technology, maybe.
Yeah, so you believe in higher beings then?
Sure, I'd say they're possible.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at too. Because that's why I said Jesus. I believe Jesus was a higher being.
But how do we know that?
Because of the way, like I said, the Shroud of Turin.
Okay.
He did some
well,
things
with the Shroud of Turin, does it bother you at all that the Shroud, like the stitching process that they used, that the Shroud was made with, isn't something that comes about until like the 14th century?
Not only that.
I mean, I'm not sure, but I know it's been like tested by scientists and stuff, and they can't explain it. I don't know if y'all heard of it.
Yeah, it has been. It has been. It has been tested. In '88, they demonstrated that it's from the Middle Ages.
And the amount of
stitching and the stitching process.
I'm sorry.
And the stitching process that the Shroud
itself was used to make the stitching process isn't
Yeah.
something that has been done until the 14th century.
Okay.
So Jesus, who was alive during the 1st century, would not
Our
like
experts here.
that type of stitch pattern would not have existed.
Okay. Well, I was talking about the stitch, but it said the amount of energy because they said the image on the tour on the shroud, right? Is it needed like 6 million joules of energy
Ned,
to show the
you're
image.
going to see.
Hi, hello.
You're going to.
But it,
Ned? Is your name
yeah,
Ned?
because the energy that needed to make that image
Hi, hello.
can't be
Ned?
recreated
Okay,
by
hold on,
man.
Ned. Hold on.
Ned.
Aaliyah's trying to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Ned. My name's Aaliyah. I'm actually an expert in the Shroud of Turin. And you know what? I'm actually on expedition in Costa Rica right now, doing some additional research on S fabrics from T locations. So I'm in, I don't know if you've heard of this place, it's called Talfarico, Costa Rica. And I'm currently studying the silks of this area.
Silks of Talfarico.
I heard that you were, yeah, right. So I know, it's wild, right? So I heard that you guys were talking about the Shroud. The Godless texted me to say, hey, are you available to talk about the Shroud? And I am. What I wanted to say, Ned, is, like I said, I'm an expert on the subject. I'm currently writing a peer-reviewed article about S fabrics from T locations. And what I would like to tell you about the Shroud, in case you did not know, it has been debunked. Are you aware that it's been debunked?
I mean, you just said it just now. I mean, no, I don't. I know. Well, I mean, I don't know what that means. Debunked.
Debunked by it means that the fabric, like I think somebody else was mentioning that the stitching for the fabric, that weave was not possible until the 13th century.
Okay, so it,
okay.
So does that mean it's a fake? Somebody made it, or because
that
I
is
heard?
Correct. And
yeah, I heard that they
correct.
can't recreate it.
Actually,
they can recreate it. I'm actually in the process of recreating it again. So it's been recreated more than once, actually.
How was it created? If you don't mind me asking.
With fabric, with a. Are you familiar with an underhanded basket weave?
No, but I'm pretty sure it's something about weaving or baskets.
Now, not to be confused with underwater basket weaving. Not to be confused with that.
That's correct. See,
I heard of that.
Even my good friend Trust knows the difference here. So the type of weave that was used to was not even possible because of the types of 19th century. So it's been debunked. Like, it's not even possible for the way that the fabrics are intertwined even. It's not possible for that to have happened during the 1st century. Yeah. So and I would also just like to mention, like, even if, hold on, can I speak? Can I can I finish?
Sorry.
Would that be okay if I finish talking? Okay, great, thank you. Because like I said, I took a minute from my expedition here in Costa Rica. I don't know if you can see, there's monkeys and iguanas and whatnot. We're all fabrics down here. And even if it was created in the 1st century, it does not prove, like, it doesn't prove the divinity of Jesus. All that it proves is that there was a man wrapped in a cloth.
True story. Oh.
Any further questions?
No, but actually, can you?
Yeah, actually, so you said, so I can look it up. It's been recreated because I watched on like the Wi-Files or something like that, and they said it took so much. It was made from light coming from within the shroud to create the image.
No, it's not actually. So what they did, so there's been multiple recreations done. It has nothing to do with light from within. It's just a printing technique. It's like an art. It's like a painting. They used dried tea leaves to create that same color.
How thick is the paint? Do you know that? Because somebody told me.
Yeah, it's 2.78 millimeters in some areas, and then in other areas it's up to 4.6 or 4.7. I'd have to check my notes. Millimeters in thickness.
Okay, and how thick is that compared to like me using a marker on or just a crayon?
Do you have a ruler?
For millimeters?
Do you have a ruler?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, just like in comparison.
I would suggest getting
Christina.
A ruler that has, metric measurements.
But it isn't a millimeter smaller than the width. I heard that it was like the width of a hair on the shroud. That the painting on the shroud was.
Remember, I'm an expert in this field.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you. How?
Yeah, and you're asking me, and I'm telling you.
That is millimeters. So
in his defense, you did freeze for a minute, Leah.
Oh, yeah. I am down here in the jungles of Costa Rica, in Telferico, okay, studying the silks in this region because that is my expertise, right? So, yeah. So, like I said, even if the shroud wasn't a genuine article, that does not prove that Jesus is divine and rose from the dead. It just proves that there was a man that was wrapped in fabric. But again, the fabric was created in the 13th century.
Yeah. So we'll let you get back to your expedition, but I heard that pretty soon that you are planning an expedition in Toledo, looking for the socks of Toledo. Now, do we have any idea of when that's going to happen?
So I'm very booked right now. I've got a lot of expeditions that I'm doing. So, but that will be happening this summer. I've got, that is on the docket, if you will.
Okay. Wow. Toledo in the summer.
I think you need to book an expedition to Chicago, at some point.
Well, it depends on where. I would have to stay in a neighborhood that starts with the letter T. That's the problem here. You see what I'm getting at?
Okay.
Yeah.
In Texas City, here in Texas.
I'll find a suburb that starts with a T.
And then I would be happy to join. But right now, I have to get in the swimming pool right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of the expedition.
It's part of the expedition. Well, please don't let us impede your. That sounds like a very critical research.
I really appreciate it, guys. I had to go obtain this fabric for my toddler, which starts with T. Okay, so.
Gotcha.
The patriarchy did say there is Chicago.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Appreciate you taking the time to set aside time during your expedition.
It's very important to me. It's very important. Yeah. It's very important to me.
We see that. Yeah, we do see that. Bye. So yeah.
Another thing. W. Aaliyah, yes.
W. Aaliyah.
Leo is amazing.
Yes.
Ned, another thing to point out about the shroud is the fact that, we see this image of this being on there, right? And when we look at the description of the Bible, it says that
I didn't read the Bible, so I don't know. I don't know what's in the Bible.
Oh. Okay. Then how would you even know this is a shroud of Jesus?
We could do the Jewish tradition too.
Well, I'm not religious, so I don't know anything about no religion.
Okay, cool. Well then I'll stick without taking out the Bible.
Yeah, just the facts.
Just the facts. So whenever you push when you look at the image of this being, it is so pristine that you can see the eyelids, right? So in order to be able to do that and be able to see the image as clearly, it needs to be taut around the face, so taut that it is the way that you would see it whenever you flatten it out is that the image of the face would be distorted to the point where it looks bloated, right? And we don't see that with this shroud.
So because the face isn't bloated, that's why.
Yeah, because again, it's so detailed that you can see the eyelids of the individual on the shroud, and for that to have made sense, it would have to been so taut around the face for it to get the eyelids that whenever you take a 3D image, because that's what it would be if it's that taut around the head. And when you take a 3D image and you flatten it out to 2D space, it distorts the face.
And how long would that take?
Well, not very long. And the reason we know that is Italian researchers were able to recreate the shroud in 2009. They used medieval technology to do that.
Such as?
For one thing, they used
Because I want to look it up too, because I'm not
Yeah.
I really want to see it too.
Yeah. So they used what they did was they had a rendition of the paints that were used at the time. They placed the linen sheet flat over Volunteer, then they rubbed it with a pigment containing traces of acid, because they were able to detect acids that were used for the face that were used on the shroud, and a mask was used for the face. So they created a mask, and then they put that under the shroud, and then that's how they came up with the face. And so they artificially aged the pigments that were on the shroud by heating the cloth in an oven, and then they washed it, and they did all of this with medieval technology. They added the blood stains, they added the burn holes, the water stains, all of the stuff. So the other thing that we have is we have a letter from a bishop back then who wrote to the Pope stating that he knew the artist who created the shroud. So verifying that it's a forgery. And so we have a lot of evidence that it's a forgery.
So where is it now?
That it's a relic. It's in the Vatican.
Do you see the picture that's below you? Yeah, it's been debunked.
Yeah, it's been debunked. It was debunked in 1988. But here's a picture that Philly's put on. So this is what the shroud should look like, but that's not what it actually looks like. This is what Hammy was talking about. Like it would cause your face to be like wide if it was actually on a person.
Yeah, and we don't see that when it comes to shroud. Like you can see like where the ears are, like right close by the head, and everything on the shroud. Whereas, I mean, hell, even in this picture alone, like where it is now below you, you can see that the ears are way far apart,
way on the sides,
and it's
you don't have a real picture. Do you have a real picture of the shroud? Or
I'm sure we can pull one up
because this looks kind of weird.
Yeah, we can pull one up for you. Philly, keep that one there. So
I'm
that
actually
way
looking at
compare.
one. Yeah, and the hair. That's the wild part too. The hair. Here I was just looking at a article about that. So here's a rendition of
There's the picture of the shroud, and as you can see, the hair is perfectly real close by the face, like right in the shadowy areas is where the ears are. Now, if you take that picture and put it right next to the picture of Philly, of where Philly is, that shows what a 3D image flattened out looks like, you can see that there's a difference. While, yeah, the eyes, the nose, the mouth are basically kind of in the same positions because, well, let's face it, we are bisymmetrical, where one side reflects the other. So flattening that out would stay the same. But then the hair, where we see it on the quote-unquote Jesus character, is perfect. It's not distorted outwards like you would expect when you take a 3D object and flatten it to 2D space.
Yeah.
Where, like, you don't see the normal stuff.
Let me ask you a question real quick. One of these is the actual shroud, and one of these is the one recreated by scientists. Which one do you think it is?
The one on the left.
The one on which one? Which one on the left? Which is
the one on the left? The real one.
Is the real one? Okay.
Yeah.
But do you see how very similar they are?
Not really, but I mean, they both look totally. Well, to me, they look different.
Yeah, but the whole point is that if some type of miracle had created this, it wouldn't look this similar. Like, this is pretty similar. It would look.
Yeah, I agree. They're similar.
Yeah, it would look very different if it was like some type of miracle that created this shroud. And the other part of it, and the other part of it is that the shroud also, what the evidence that we have in Jewish tradition, is that when they actually use burial strips, like they use cloth strips. They didn't use a big shroud, like a big giant cloth to put over the body. They actually covered it with strips of cloth. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but when do you think they would have treated Jesus better
well, we don't have any
than
evidence of that. Yeah.
Like the thing is like even
well,
if
I mean,
like
like for the
if
proper
we can
burials?
agree, well, this is proper burial
No, I was
rights for Jewish people.
Right.
This is like if you want to properly bury someone, especially someone who you would think is God incarnate, you would do this process. It wouldn't be like this is the proper way to do it.
Yeah. And then the
And
other
there's
problem.
no.
Oh, go ahead and finish. Sorry.
Oh, go
I thought
ahead.
you were done.
I was just going to say that there's no real evidence that we have that even if we can agree that Jesus was a real person, even if we can agree that the apostles were real, we have no real evidence to say that the apostles thought that Jesus was God incarnate.
Yeah. And then the other piece to that is because if you're saying, well, then wouldn't they have treated Jesus differently? Well, see, here's the other problem with that is, what we do know historically is that the Pharisees and Sadducees wanted Jesus dead, right? And what we know historically is when, even though the Romans carried out the executions of crucifixion, what we know from historical reading is that whenever the Jews wanted somebody executed, one of their fellow Jews executed, they would not receive proper burial rights according to the Jewish custom. They would just be, so they wouldn't take the body down from the crucifix. They would just leave it up there. And then eventually what would happen is after the body rotted after some time, the Romans would just eventually throw the body into a pit. So if anything, what likely, if we just go by that alone, there would be no shroud. There actually wouldn't be a tomb. There would be no burial. Jesus was just thrown into a pit with all the other criminals.
So there's no tomb because I mean, people told me there's a tomb, and that's where the shroud was found. So that's not true.
Right. That can't be true.
Yeah.
If you go by like the Jewish tradition that we've read in the books.
I was just going like all like historical text or anything like that.
Right.
They're saying there's no.
There just would be no reason anyone would take his body down. There would be no reason for that. Like they wouldn't be allowed to.
So
like the thing is like you have to rely on basically a one-off guard being willing to be paid off to allow them to take him down.
And Joseph of Arimathea that just appeared out of nowhere and then is never seen in the Bible ever again.
Yeah, and so you'd have to rely on a bunch of different aspects.
Okay,
that
with that being said,
doesn't make sense historically speaking.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the shroud is real, but it was made, I don't know when, thousands of years ago, but they can recreate it.
About 700 years ago, yeah, ish.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we recreated it using middle 13th century technology or 12th century technology, whatever it was.
So did Jesus?
14th century.
So do y'all believe Jesus existed at all? He ever walked on earth?
Well, you'll get answers from all of us. You'll get different answers, but you got.
So
I mean, like for atheists, I would think.
Well, here's the funniest thing for me, right? There's one point in time where if you'd asked me this, I would probably have said, yeah, like I would have had no actual reason to say no, right? But I've been digging into whether or not Jesus existed as a real person, and I'm finding less and less evidence that he existed.
Yeah, it's not adding up. And I'm kind of in the same boat, although I'm still agnostic to it. I just don't know. I'm on the fence.
Yeah, what's the newest evidence you found?
Oh, if you got $3, yeah, we can do Christ before Jesus. A little CBJ plug.
Oh yeah.
So if you got $3, you can buy yourself a book called Christ Before Jesus, and it lays out the evidence that Jesus did not exist.
Oh, okay.
It's a good read. Yeah.
It is. I personally like if you want to do some actual like digging outside of that book, you can just look at all the
same
research where everything is like who all like what the evidence that he existed is, and look at that evidence. So like we have the people who say, you know, like people bring up Josephus, people bring up Tacitus. People bring up a couple of other different random historical writers from back then. And when you look through what each of them write about Jesus, when it comes to Josephus, he writes, part of it we can see that's interpolated, meaning that it's later Christian writing that has been inserted into it. And then we have another section that they believe to be authentic to Josephus. However, he's basically saying what people have claimed about Jesus's brother James.
So was the Dead Sea Scrolls fake too?
Do what?
Were the Dead Sea Scrolls fake too?
Dead Sea Scrolls, where do they mention Jesus at all?
I don't know. They said they was all connected.
The Dead Sea Scrolls don't mention Jesus.
Yeah, they don't mention Jesus.
And they are just fragments. Some of the fragments are eensy beensy, like very, very small. There were actually several that used to be in museums that ended up being fake. So not all of those were genuine.
Mm-hmm. Just like the Shroud of Turin.
Yeah.
It's fake. That's why I'm like, if it's fake, they would have just threw it away. But you say they're keeping it for some reason. So does it have any historical importance?
Well, the thing is, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the reason why they're keeping it is because of the fact that A, it's a historical document, and B, because of the fact that it does have certain writings that collaborate with text from the time frame, right? So, like, there are some parts of, I don't remember exactly which books, but we have fragments of each books that help us, say, hey, this part here is kind of authentic, right, to what they would have written back then. But then we go through other authors such as Tacitus. Tacitus mentions a group that is referenced as the Christians, who were followers of the Christ, where Christians, when you actually look at it, the I for Christians looks like it was supposed to be another letter. And more specifically, it looks like it's supposed to be an E. So it looks like he's talking about the Christians. And Christians having their movement named after their, the leader, who is Christ. It should be Christus. But anyways, even if we can grant you that this is the Christians and that that their leader is Christ, the problem is that this here is talking about the fact that Nero is blaming them for the burnings of Rome, and during a time frame where Christianity hasn't spreaded to Rome yet. So this, like, they're still stuck in like Jerusalem and the Judea area, so they haven't spread it yet to Rome. So we have a problem with it being the Christians. And even if we can grant that somehow, some way, then cool, Christians were being domestic terrorists. Is that what we want to say? But or that they're being blamed for being that. So we have issues there. And then everywhere else that we look where it's writing about quote unquote Christ or Jesus, it's all mentioning what people believed at that time anyways. So it's not an actual deep dive.
If it came out that Jesus was a extraterrestrial and he came back and he said he's Jesus,
I don't understand.
what do atheists think is gonna happen to them though? I mean, like, do y'all reincarnate or y'all just, I don't know what y'all think.
Why would they come out that Jesus was an extraterrestrial?
Good to see you.
Really quickly, Trust. Christina wanted to come up and say one more thing about the Shroud.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring Christina up real quick. I was just preparing for the there's a guest on YouTube, but can somebody bring her up? One of the mods, can you bring up Christina? I can't find her on the list. So one of y'all could do that.
I just accepted her.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Hey there.
Thank you. Hi. Just really fast, Ned, you could probably do the experiment yourself at home. Like, if you put paint or something on your face and then you laid a sheet on your face, do you think that you're going to get like the perfect outline of your eye sockets? Or do you think your nose and your chin are going to get in the way of your eye sockets?
Well, wait a minute, for the shroud, is the paint on the inside of the shroud or the outside of the shroud? Or does it go all the way through?
But it's not, I'm just saying to do the experiment to see how a face would actually show up on a sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't take it that serious. I'm not going to do all that. I was just asking questions.
But I'm just saying, but it's common sense that like if you place a sheet over someone's face, your nose is going to make it stay away from your eye sockets. It's not going to, unless you're like wrapping it super, super tight, and then your face is going to get all smushed.
All right.
So the fact that his face is like perfect and you can see every detail of his face means it's bullshit. You cannot see a whole person's face if you have a sheet over their face. Like you just can't.
So it has no historical importance? Or is it they just trashed it? I mean, like, it came from somewhere, so it's an artifact.
It's just art, but
Yeah,
it's
just
not
art.
from Jesus.
Yeah,
but nobody
it does
knows
have
who it's
historical
from.
importance. It does. And
It's like saying, it's like asking what's
like a
the
holy
historical importance of, say,
what makes it
a
holy?
Van Gogh painting.
Well, the church calling it holy is what they say. That's all. That's it. They just when I say holy relic, it's just a name, not that it's actually holy. They just call it a holy relic.
But like I said, it's like
a
asking what's the historical significance of a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah,
it has
okay,
none
I'm
to
starting
me.
the poll, everybody.
All right, thanks.
So I just wanted to because that seems to be like the argument that a lot of believers come up with, and it's just like take a second and think about it logically. If you put a piece of fabric over someone, you're not going to be able to see every detail of their face. So it just blows the whole argument out of the water, and then you just need to find something else that to believe in.
He said Jesus could have been
So
an
it's 100% certain that image wasn't created by light. It's created by paint.
Yes, it's created by paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
It's
dated
just
it too. Yeah, it's just artwork. They dated it too. They dated the actual cloth. So if the cloth is just dated to the Middle Ages, there's no way it could have come from the 1st century. It's just not possible.
I'm sorry, but y'all are really glossing over the fact that he said that if it's found out that Jesus was real, it was an extraterrestrial.
Well, I missed that.
Because, what I was saying was,
wow.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I missed that.
No, I was saying that, like, we'll call them like, or they, because people say demons and aliens and all that stuff. But if I told you Jesus was he was real, but he's still God, and it'd be known. So there's nothing Jesus could show up today and you wouldn't believe him. Is that true? Or is that like, or how would he prove to anybody?
If Jesus came down and said, "I'm an alien,"
No, he said, "I'm Jesus." No, he just came down and said, "I'm Jesus."
He came down and said he was Jesus, and there was evidence of that. There was like proof.
Yeah.
Of course, I believe it. I wouldn't worship him.
Not if he came to me by himself.
Oh,
if it
that's
was just
true.
Me,
yeah,
like
I'd
in a
fucking pepper
room,
spray him.
I would think that my gummy was just like way too many milligrams.
I might pepper spray him actually. Yeah, I would.
Right? Yeah, I'd be like, get away from me.
Like, he'd get
like
a he'd get a 5 hour to the head.
Look,
I'd
I'm
hit him
gonna
with the
say
Bible.
if someone came running up to me, if someone came down from the heavens and they came running up to me to say, "I am Jesus from the Bible," like,
and what if Jesus
I'm gonna suck him in the nose.
And this is just a hyper. Okay, I'm not violent like that, but what if Jesus told you he didn't really
I am
need
if
y'all
he's
to
in my
worship?
room. Shoot.
Well, I'm talking about like
I'm choosing violence. I don't care.
Nah, okay, you just pop up on TikTok.
Try Jesus.
But then
Don't try me.
If he said you didn't have to worship him, and that was pointless, and then you know what I'm saying, but he's still Jesus.
I go about my business. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants you to go about your business.
Wouldn't affect me in the least. Then I wouldn't care. Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah. I don't really. I mean, I wouldn't really care. Yeah. It wouldn't affect my
Jesus
life
is
either way.
gonna.
Have you
Look, all
heard
I'm saying
the?
is, if Jesus came running up to me to
Have
say
you
that
ever
he's
heard that the
Jesus,
Earth was a prison planet?
cool.
Yeah, we've heard
That's
stuff like that, but yeah,
It's all conspiracy theories
yeah.
with no
We're
evidence.
kind of getting out in the weeds. But hey, listen, Ned.
This is like National Enquirer.
Yeah, thanks.
stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I gotta go.
Okay.
Though, but I appreciate it though. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you. Have a good day. Yeah.
All I know
National
is
Enquirer, like what was that? Weekly World News? Is that what it was called? I used to read that shit like standing in the line at the grocery store.
Yes.
I kind of missed those.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just fun to read, right?
Global Inquiry.
The Globe and all that shit. Yeah.
Alien babies and yeah.
Oh, I
All
like
I know is
the
if
Bat
Jesus-
Kid. Remember the Bat Kid from like the 90s or 2000s?
Yes, I remember Bat Kid. All I know is if Jesus came running up to me to say that he was Jesus and that he was an extraterrestrial, like I said, he's gonna get socked in the face. That's it. Like, why are you
and
running up
I'll
on me
use,
like that?
I'll use the miscongeniality seeing method with the solar plexus, instant nose, groin.
Groin. Yep.
Exactly.
He's getting all of that.
Like all the shit you learned in self-defense, like in like
getting it in the nut.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
No
like
doubt.
all the shit we learned like when we were taking like the intro taekwondo class, you know, that they always handed out for free. That's like the one, like Kovar's karate or some shit. That's what Jesus would be getting. Like
I'm like some dude when I was in the army tried to tell me he was a werewolf and I politely walked away, right? But if some random dude just comes running up to me to tell me that he's Jesus and that he came from his spaceship, yeah, no, he's getting sucked in the face. Like that's it.
Yeah, right?
Like what more do you want from me? Like some random dude just comes up to tell me he's Jesus and to tell me about his spaceship. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I'm gonna need you to get the fuck far.
You know,
away.
I probably found myself in Lower Wacker in Chicago for some reason. If a guy is telling me that,
that's the thing. I mean, really thinking about it, I'm like, I don't think there would be a scenario because it's like if they came like down like at a concert or like a amphitheater with like a whole bunch of people, I would just think it was special effects. And if it was like people were videotaping it, I would just think it was AI. And if it came to me alone, I would just think I was insane. Like, I don't know what situation would really be a situation where I would believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be kind of tough, but I think I could be convinced. Like, it would take a lot though, right? It would take a lot.
I could not be convinced though that God is good.
Yeah,
like whether he exists or not, whatever.
Would take so much evidence. Yeah, that would take so much. Like you would have to convince me. You would have to convince me that like killing babies is okay, genocide's okay, sexual violence is okay. I mean,
that's all contextual.
Yeah, that's a huge hill to climb right there. Like, and I'm serious. Like, if there was evidence of that's all cool, that we're good with that, you know, that misogyny's cool. I mean, if slavery's cool, I mean, there's so much you got to get over on that. Like so much.
God would have to overtake my brain.
Yeah.
In order for me to believe it.
Yeah.
Well, if he's an alien, maybe he can.
Maybe he could.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe he could.
Like, what if he came with a book?
Pluribus.
Right.
Pluribus.
He came with a book.
That's such a great show. Everybody should watch that.
Yes, sorry, Christina.
Oh,
So
no,
sorry,
it's
Christine.
going on my list. Oh, no, I was just saying, like, he comes with a book and he's like, this is the actual Bible. And it's like all sunshine and roses and like everybody should treat each other nicely. And like, that's the only rule.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's like, these guys just like made up their own shit. And we're like, we could have just been, you know, doing the real thing the whole time. But no.
Yeah, right.
If I was God, I would have had to make a Bible that there's only one commandment. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It'd
That's
just be one line on a
house
napkin.
motto.
Yeah. All right. We have in
Moses,
the YouTube
here
queue.
is-
In the YouTube queue, we have Max who's waiting, and so we'll squeeze Max in here. So I'm gonna mute you, Max. All right, you should be able to hear us all, Max. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Yeah, we're doing great.
Max, can you hear my sultry voice, Max?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Okay, Max, thanks for waiting. And could you let us know which pronouns you prefer people use for you and your age, please?
I guess male pronouns, and my age, I'm 32 years old.
32. Okay, male pronouns is because that's your sex, and so we have males who use like they, them, she, her. So which ones?
I'm just not very. I don't really use pronouns. I guess he.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, and then which God do you believe in?
I believe in the Christian God. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and what's your best evidence that God is real?
My best evidence that God is real. If I had to present it to someone else or for myself.
Well, I mean, we're asking you, so because me and my friends here, we're kind of taking it from the approach that we want to be convinced. So, maybe you're not trying to convince us, but we do want to be convinced. So we want to hear, what makes you believe that God is real.
Sure. I guess for me, it's a combination of first. Sorry, can you hear me?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep talking. Okay. I was just talking to myself. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I guess for me, it's a combination of I'd say philosophical arguments, personal experience, and I guess trying to find the best explanation for reality in general, I guess.
Okay. Out of the list you gave, because we probably have time to tackle one, maybe two, but we'll just start. Let's start with the one that really, really drives your belief. Which one would that be?
That really drives my belief?
Yeah.
I guess I'm more interested into the philosophical side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess for now that would be mostly what drives me to believe that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and so what arguments are most compelling to you?
There's a lot that I find compelling. Sorry, by the way, I'm French Canadian, and English is my second language, so I'm not as proficient in English as French. But yeah, for me, I think the moral argument, the cosmological argument, and the fine-tuning argument are three very strong arguments that I think, to me, I find convincing.
Okay, well, let's pick one. So I'll let you pick whichever one you want to go with. Pick the one that's strongest to you. Like if all the ones, if you proved all the other ones wrong, like which one would stand out to you the most? Or if you had to pick one, or just pick one in general.
If I had to pick one, I'd say right now just a question of preference, because I think they're all strong. But I would say the moral argument I find interesting. Yeah, sure, we could talk about that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And what is how would you characterize the moral argument?
Me, I would characterize it as to find a grounding for objective moral values, and to also acknowledge that we as human experience moral values as a reality that is compelling to us in general, and that they seem to be objective more than just subjective feeling, at least to me. So there needs to be, in my opinion, a grounding for that objectivity. And I think that the best explanation for that grounding would be a higher being in the sense of God, maybe. I don't think that would bring us to the Christian God, but it would bring us to the existence of, let's say, an all-powerful and all good and all-loving being. Let's say something like that.
Okay, I got you.
What makes you think that there are objective morals?
I guess it's the same way that when I see a table in front of me, I have the impression that it's real. I also have the same impression that some actions are morally wrong, objectively, and more than just a question of taste.
Well, so real quick, whenever we're talking about objective, what do you mean by objective?
Sorry, 321 Biter, just subscribe. Thank you for the subscription on YouTube. Appreciate you. W
Biter.
Oh, and Darth Gently actually re-upped earlier. So W Darth Gently. I forgot to say it.
W Darth Gently.
W Darth
Well,
Gently.
W Darth Gently always.
Yeah, always. Just like that's like default. So W Darth Gently. All right. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Max. Or
sorry, guys.
Hammy. Go ahead.
So whenever we're talking about objective, what do you think objective means?
Something that is true, no matter the opinions of other people. It would be true regardless of what other people think, or let's say what we think about it.
Oh. Okay. So you're taking like the position that it's a mind or stance independent.
Well, yeah, the same way that, let's say, the material world is objective, in my mind. I think it's not an illusion. I think it's not an illusion, let's say, that my brain creates. I would say that the same thing is true for moral values. At least some of them. At least some of them are objective in the same way that I perceive reality in front of me. Let's say reality as the material reality, not, let's say, when I say reality, I mean the material reality in front of me.
So, but they require a God's mind.
Sorry?
But they would require the mind of your God, right?
Do you mean for objective moral values to exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the best explanation for the fact that they exist, if we believe that they exist, would be a God. Yeah. And I would say that a God as an perfect being and unembodied mind would be a good description of maybe how I would believe this being would be. Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, though, is that whenever it comes to this, is that especially since the fact that you are taking the God from the Bible, and while you're saying that this doesn't get you to the God of the Bible, you still think it's the God of the Bible, and the God of the Bible constantly changes his mind.
Yeah, sorry, if I can just interject, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to say that this argument I don't think brings you to the God of the Bible, but I have other reasons to believe in the God of the Bible. So I wouldn't use this argument to believe in the God of the Bible.
Okay. No. I didn't say that you're using this argument to say that the God of the Bible is real, right? I said that you don't conclude that this argument leads you to that God, but you do believe in that God. Yeah, but you do believe in that God, and you think that it is this God. Yeah. So, and the thing is the God of the Bible does in fact change his mind constantly. There are several lines in the Bible that tell you that the God changed his mind. So, if the moral truths are coming from this God's mind, then therefore, and this God can change his mind and does change his mind. That means that this is no longer, it's not objective, it's subjective. You're just shifting the subject from you to this God.
Sure, I would say that I don't believe that God changes his mind. And if he does change his mind, I would say that I would not believe in that kind of God. So I would say that let's say if I came to believe that that God, the God of the Christianity in the Bible changes his mind, it would be a good argument for me to stop believing in Christianity and maybe believe in another type of God, or maybe revise my idea of God. But still,
okay, cool. So
would be a good one to sure.
One of the evidence that the God of the Bible changes his mind is the fact that whenever Moses was bringing down the tablets and he saw that everybody had built the golden statue of a cow and were worshiping at its feet, that he broke the tablets. So God tells him to come back up there. And when he does, God is so furious on what was happening that he was going to wipe them all out. And Moses said, no, don't do that. And it literally says in there, God changed his mind and decided not to do that.
Sure.
We can pull up the verse for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know about these types of verses, and I would be interested in going deeper into that subject. I don't think that in our quick discussion we'll be able to come to consensus, but I'm really interested in hearing your argument.
Would you consider regret a change of mind?
Well, I think you're talking about God regretting creating man or something like that in the Old Testament. Are
Well,
you
there's
suggesting?
many instances, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There are many instances. I would say that my opinion right now about it is that it would maybe be more of a figure of speech, but I would be open to this, looking more deeply into the subject. And of course, if God changes his mind, that would not be consistent with the idea that I have of God. And my reason, I think, for doubting that these verses would say that
Yes.
specifically is that in the whole message of the Bible, I'd say if you take the Bible as a whole, you can see that it's more leaning towards saying that God does not change his mind. But I'm open to
Mm,
look at the evidence, definitely.
okay. So, so then what do you consider regret then? What is regret to you?
Well, yeah. So specifically the word regret, I think that if we're looking to make an argument that regret is not changing your mind, I'm not sure I can go into that specifically. I guess that my idea about it would be that probably that regret is not exactly the English word that we would use for it specifically. If that's the case, that it's exactly that word that the Bible is trying to use
Yeah.
and that it means the same thing as regret exactly, that would necessarily be something that I would have to look at and take a more deep dive about it. But I'm open to suggest this idea.
The
To
Hebrew
me, I'd say,
word is nacham, which means to regret, repent, or
yeah,
relent. Yeah.
yeah. I think to
Indicates a
me,
change of mind. Yeah.
mhm, yeah. So yeah, see, if the idea of using that word in that context would be to say that God changes his mind, if that's the case specifically, that to me would be definitely a problem. I just think that there might be more context to it and a research that I haven't done specifically, so I'm not sure that I can say that with certitude it would mean exactly that, to change his mind, since I believe that the message of the Bible in general will not support the fact that he changes his mind. But
Okay.
it's a good argument. I say it's a good argument.
Okay. So, all right. So let's bring up a verse. I'm going to take you. Have you read the book of Jonah?
I've read the whole Bible once, but since there are many books, I don't remember by heart every part. So,
Okay.
Book of Jonah, it's one that I don't remember by heart.
Okay. So I'm covering my face here, but do you see that? The verse that's covering my face?
Yeah, I see.
Okay. So this is Jonah chapter 3, excuse me, verses 9 and 10. So it says, "Who knows, God may relent and change his mind. He may turn from his fierce anger so that we do not perish. When God saw what they did, how they turned from their evil ways, God changed his mind about the calamity that he had said he would bring upon them, and he did not do it."
Yeah, so that would be good evidence against against the idea that God would not change his mind. Yeah, it's good evidence.
Yeah. So we have that. Do you need to see more? Because I've got a whole list of them.
You can always pull up the one that I was talking about.
Yeah.
What do you mean if I need to see more?
Huh? Would you like to see more?
If I need to see more?
Yeah, I'm just asking you if you need to see more. If you need more evidence, because you said that's good evidence, but do you need more evidence? Because we have more evidence.
Well, can you explain to me what you mean by "do I need more evidence"?
Does that does the verse I showed you convince you that God does indeed change his mind in the Bible?
Well, I think it's good evidence to say that he changes his mind. Yeah.
Okay. Does that convince you?
But I'm not ready to. I don't think I'm ready to say that this verse says that God changes his mind, because, like I said, I have other arguments in my mind that would tell me that God doesn't change his mind. So I guess I would need to do more research about that.
Okay. So when the Bible says, when it says here in this passage, God changed his mind, what tells you that he doesn't change his mind here?
It will need to be either a figure of speech, or it contextually means something else than to say that he changes literally his mind Let's in the sense that he didn't foreknow it, or that he decided to change his mind about that because he, there needs to be an explanation for that. Of course, if God is all knowing and he
Well, the
planned
explanation's
everything.
there. Yeah. It says it right there, verse 10. When God saw what they did, how they turned from their evil ways, God changed his mind about the calamity that he had said he would bring upon them, and he did not do it. So he
So in
saw
other
them
words,
change
what
their
this is
ways.
saying is that
That's good
they were
evidence
doing
against it. Yeah.
evil things. God said he was going to destroy them. They sat there and changed from their evil ways, and then God said, "You know what? I'm not going to do that no more." So he changed his mind.
So I don't know. Yeah, how would this be figurative? Because you said it might be a figure of speech. So how would this be figurative?
Yeah. So maybe like the same way of conditional prophecy could be said about an event that would happen if someone would say something or do something. They don't do it, so it does not happen. That would be one way, similar to that. But I haven't done my research specifically on that verse, so I don't want to say that it's definitely exactly analogous. So definitely needs to be another meaning than the plain reading of the text. If there is a way to say that God did not change his mind. So I agree that it's a good evidence against the fact that God would never change his mind. It's a good evidence against it.
Yeah, it's about the story of the city of Nineveh, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Lord sends Jonah to Nineveh, and
The word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time, saying, "Get up, go to Nineveh, that great city, and proclaim to it the message that I tell you." So Jonah set out and went to Nineveh according to the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly large city, a 3 days' walk across. Jonah began to go into the city, going a day's walk, and he cried out, 40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. And the people of Nineveh believed God. They proclaimed a fast, and everyone, great and small, put on sackcloth. When the news reached the king of Nineveh, he rose from his throne, removed his robe, covered himself with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. Then he had a proclamation made in Nineveh. By the decree of the king and his nobles, no human or animal, no herd or flock shall taste anything. They shall not feed, nor shall they drink water. Humans and animals shall be covered with sackcloth, and they shall cry mightily to God. All shall turn from their evil ways and from the violence that is in their hands. Who knows? God may relent and change his mind. He may turn from his fierce anger so that we do not perish. When God saw what they did, how they turned from their evil ways, God changed his mind about the calamity that he had said he would bring upon them, and he did not do it.
Does that give you more context?
No, I know about this story. It's a good one. I would say that. Sure. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just coughing. Go ahead.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I think it's a difficult story to how would you say that in English? This story would be difficult to reconcile with the fact that God does not change his mind. And one way to sorry.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm saying
Okay, yeah, definitely. This story is evidence against the fact that God does not change his mind, and one way to reconcile it would maybe be to say that since the conditions of the action were not met, then God relented of doing the thing that he was going to do, and that would be one way to say it. I don't think it's the perfect way to say it, but it would be one way to rationalize it.
Okay. Because it does say when God saw what they did, right? So they had to have done something for him to change his mind here in this sense, and it says here, in the previous passages,
I'm sorry to cut you off. If we want to say that he did not change his mind, like that's my position. Definitely, we cannot say that the idea that the words are saying he changed his mind would not mean exactly that. Either the words are not does not translate equally in the language of English. Let's say it might not be the case. I don't know because I haven't dug deep enough into the subject.
Okay.
But that would be one way. Or that the ones that would be reading them in the context of their society or of their time would not understand it in the same way. But if you read it in that plain way, in our understanding, using the same words and using the same understanding that we have of these words, that's definitely very good evidence against my position. Definitely, it's really good evidence.
So, can you tell me the difference between what you just said and basically saying that words don't mean words?
The difference is that the context of a society or of a time can have a big impact on the meaning of certain phrases or of certain ways of talking. We have ways of talking today that might not be understood the same in the 25th century or sometimes later. We don't know about it. So there's
Do you
things that
think?
we say.
Do you think the time frame of the people? Let's say Nineveh existed, and let's say that these people, like the story, is an accurate description of what happened. Do you think that whenever they were not destroyed, that they thought that? Are you saying that they didn't think that God actually changed his mind about destroying them?
Oh, they might have thought that. They might have thought that
Because
God changed his mind. They might. Yeah. Sorry.
what expertise in ancient Hebrew and Israelite cultures do you have?
Oh, I don't have expertise in that domain. That's why I said that I wouldn't be able to bring a strong argument against it. It's an interesting domain, and I'm not ready to put my trust in a certain position regarding that verse specifically because I haven't dug deep enough into the subject. I have heard a bit about it in certain videos and things that I've read, but I'm far from being an expert on that subject.
I I just like the thing is that I feel this is a bit disingenuous to your original point about the fact that this God doesn't change his mind. And yet, whenever we bring up and we say we have countless points where it shows that God changes his mind, now all of a sudden, well, I don't know enough about that, so I can't really say much about it. So, do you know anything
Oh,
about this God? How do you know that this God doesn't change his mind?
Oh, well, I don't think that I have no knowledge about God, but to come into a discussion about expertise into the Old Testament's not something that I have, but can still make an opinion about it because I have to make a decision
So,
in
what
the
about New
end.
Testament? What about New
Sorry.
Testament? If there was an example of God in the New Testament changing his mind, would that be
Well,
something?
do you agree that taking one verse specifically in a book does not necessarily mean the whole entire message? And sometimes there can be specific verses or sentences that might appear to mean something, but that if we take the whole context of the message, it might be we might be able to interpret it differently if we have other
I
arguments for it. Yes.
I don't know. I think that if let's say I was somebody important enough that multiple people wrote books about me, and like everyone believed that I was somebody who never cried, and multiple people sat there and showed like in their biographies of me of places where I cried and places where it says that I said that I cried, and somebody else came by and said, well, no, you see, you got to understand that this is might be, we don't really know if he actually cried or not. Like I don't think that I think that like whenever we're going through to jump through hoops about what the text says and we say, hey, this is what the text shows, The text constantly shows in several different areas within context of that chapter that yes, God changes his mind. And you're saying, well, I don't know enough about this God to be able to say that those texts are accurate or not. I just what
Oh, sorry. You can.
I'm just curious, like if we don't know, if we can't know that, then how do you even know that this God doesn't change his mind?
How do I know that he doesn't change his mind?
Well, you believe that he doesn't change his mind, and yet we have multiple evidence that shows in Scripture where he changes his mind. And you're saying, well, I don't know enough to be able to say whether or not that's accurate or not.
Yeah. Of course, there are things that I haven't researched deep enough to make myself a specific opinion about these verses that you are bringing. I think they are great and good evidence against my position. So I would have to take a look at them in more detail in order to make a decision myself about it. It might change my mind, and I'd have to revise my theology. I just think right now that I have reasons to believe that maybe that's not the whole truth. And I would ask this for you:
what reasons do you have to believe that?
Because I think that text cannot be interpreted always literally, or there needs to be more context about it, because you can't take just
we asked you for the context for this. Yeah, and we went through the context. We asked you for the context. So what other context would there be about that? I mean, we gave you the reasons why, because the first thing you said was, well, it would depend on why the people, why he relented, like what they did. So we showed you what they did, and that didn't move the needle for you at all. So I'm kind of with Hammy on this one. It just sounds like, you just don't want to say it, but it looks pretty obvious
what do I don't want to say?
That it says he changed his mind. You just don't want to say that.
Oh, sure.
And the thing is you can do research, like no problem.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that you can sit there and do research on it, no problem. But the thing is like, yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of apologetics out there that says, oh, well, this isn't actually him changing his mind, type of deal. But again, this falls back onto then those people relying on the fact that words don't mean words. And if we're going to rely on words don't mean words, then I find that this would be kind of useless of even of a point to say that this is like the clinch pin in the moral argument.
Yeah. Because the other part of it is, I kind of back Hammy on this as well, is if you can't say, well, I don't really know my God as far as this is concerned, then how do you know your God is moral?
Well, we're talking about specifically the Christian God, and I haven't studied the Old Testament in detail, and I'm not an expert into the subject. So, of course, I cannot, sit here and say like that I am an expert. I'm not.
Oh, I understand. We're just reading what it says, though. I mean, we just read what it said.
No, but let's say
if Jesus changed his mind, would that be a sign of God changing his mind?
Let me say that I agree with you that if you read the sentence plainly, and that's really what it says, and I agree that right now I have many good reasons to believe that it's exactly what it says, as you are providing.
Okay.
Sure, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Okay.
And if you want to ask me why I'm not moved about this, I am totally moved about this. It's just that, since I'm not an expert on the subject, I cannot right now decide that there is no way that there could be context.
Oh, we weren't asking for a decision. We're just asking you what it says. We weren't asking for a decision.
I think that it can say that totally. If it does say that, that's definitely really bad for the idea that God does not change his mind. But if you want to come back to the moral argument, I don't think the moral argument comes close to, proving the Christian God. So I don't think that's really related, in my opinion.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is that the moral argument relies on a God that doesn't change his mind.
Because you said it was objective.
The thing is that,
and it can't be objective if there's a mind change.
Like I said, I don't think the moral argument proves the existence of the Christian God. So I don't think that's really
Understood.
Yeah, I get that,
a
but
God,
like I said, yeah, a God that doesn't change its mind.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if that God changes his mind, then it cannot therefore be objective. Because like I can get behind the idea that
Oh, I agree.
a mind that
I
doesn't
agree.
change could be objective, right? If there's a mind that never changes and that we can know that it never changes, that
I agree with you.
and then it says that
I agree
this
with you.
X is bad, then sure, you could say that that's an objective stance. However,
I agree.
the problem is that we then have to dig into what mind is it that we're talking about. And so we can't get to that Christian God because of the fact that this God changes his mind. And if this God changes his mind, then you do not have objective morals. You have a subjective morality.
Yeah.
And that
I agree.
subject is God. Yeah. Cool. So we're both on a playing field of subjective morality.
Well, me myself, I believe that there is objective morality. So I would have a different opinion than you or position, but I agree with you that a God that would change his mind would mean subjective morality. I agree with you.
Okay. All right. Well, we are running out of time, Max. Sure. But hey, I do appreciate you coming up and talking with us.
Thank you for the discussion. It was really interesting.
Yeah, it's a good discussion.
I hope you guys have a good day.
All right. You too. Have a good day.
Good day.
I wish we could have gotten farther, but I get to be a real stickler about things.
Thing. Oh yeah, totally. I'm with you. I mean, we read the verse and it said it plain as day right there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I see how he do you see how he wiggled out of that though? He just said, "Well, I'm just talking about a God in general. I'm not talking about the Christian God."
Yeah, and the thing is like
it's just disingenuous.
I think that if your God, if your morality relies on a mind, it's going to be subjective.
Yeah.
Now, I can push that a little bit further and say that if that mind doesn't change, then it can be objective. I don't believe it, but I could push it as far as that.
Yeah.
But we'd have to get to an objective mind.
Exactly. And so and yeah, and even if he just went to like a deist type God, a little Build-A-Bear God, I still wouldn't call it objective, because if this is all coming from this God, then it by definition isn't objective because it's mind independent. It just has to be mind independent. Yeah. So that means that this God that morality doesn't come from this God. So, yep. Totally. Yeah. I'm totally with you on that. Totally with you.
For anybody else who plans on joining up, I do want to sit there and tell you. I want to inform you beforehand. If you come up here and you say you don't use pronouns, I am a very big proponent of malicious consent there. And anytime you use a pronoun, I will interrupt you to say, "Oh no, you can't use that. That's a pronoun."
I like that one.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, either that or I get to pick the pronouns. If they don't use them, then okay, well then we'll just use whatever pronouns we want for you then. And so that gets messy too. So either way, yeah, I'm with you. I might go to Staples and get the Staples button. The one that goes. I might have to get that.
You'd be like, you used a pronoun.
Yeah.
It really is, asking people's pronouns really is a great barometer of how the conversation is going to go, because every single person that has given their pronouns easily, we usually have great conversations with.
Yeah.
But people who are so put off by it, or they just refuse to give them, or whatever, we usually see them crashing out or not able to defend their position at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's like using Mr., Miss, and Mrs. I mean, it's the same thing, basically. It's out of respect.
Yeah, more or less.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's wild to me.
I do want to say that I was whenever I did the reading from Jonah, I do want to say that somebody had said that I was channeling a spot-on impression of John Lithgow's Lord Farquaad.
Oh, I saw that. Yes, I saw that. I saw that in the chat. That was pretty funny.
Some of you may die. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take.
That was literally the quote that I was thinking of.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's usually like the only one I think of when anyone brings up Lord. And just by the way, in this chat, we remember we all decided to call him Lord Quafad. Just remember that. So
did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, somebody fucked his name up, and then we're like, you know what? We're just gonna call him that from now on, Lord Quafa. I don't remember who. I just because I was going over the I was doing some clip farming the other day, and I saw that, so I'm like, okay, I got to remember that. So maybe I'll have to clip it and I'll post it in Discord so we all know. But
another good quote from Lord I love is whenever he's got the gingerbread man's feet and he's like, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
He taps his legs on the table. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that scene too.
You're a monster.
Yeah,
you're the monster.
Yeah.
Oh, you fairy tale creature ruining my precious world. Not the gumdrop buttons.
Yeah. Now talk. Okay. Do you know the Muffin Man?
I'll tell you. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. Yes, I know
Who
the
lives
Muffin
on
Man.
Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man! She's married to the Muffin Man.
Oh, I think
Shrek is goated.
Yes,
it really
it
is.
I think it sounds like that might have to be our next movie day.
I was just gonna say I own Shrek 1 and 2, so we can easily watch those.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to read from the book of Smash Mouth where it says, "Verily I say unto you, somebody once told me, the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed."
Actually, it was somebody who told me.
I'm sorry. Somebody once told me, the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
All right, Hammy, I hate to do this, but I got to make room for Peg. So I got to
kick
you down.
Dude,
So sorry.
I dare you. I dare you.
Bye,
Do
Hammy.
it. You're right.
Done.
Bye. Bye, Hammy.
But out of love, yes, but out of love, because we have to bring up Peg. We have to. We absolutely have to. So everybody, what this means is the end of the show. I do have to go, but these are all the mods who are here today. So we are in force today, not to mention Rainbow Ash and hello.
That's my son. He keeps saying hi.
Hey, little man, how's it going?
Good.
Good. So we have all the mods here. We've got Blaster Master 80, Rainbow Ash on the other side, on the YouTube side. So big W's, lots of love. Yeah, W's, love, and follows for all of these fine people. These are wonderful people. And yes, absolutely. Thank you, Rainbow Ash.
Follow
You
me.
are fantastic. Yes, absolutely. Follow Jessica. Absolutely. Because
I just
Jessica's
started going live today.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Yes, Yakura, Nairobi, Energetic Read. I do go live on YouTube too. So you should follow me over there. So everybody who's not following me on YouTube, you should type in Trust But Verify 2024 on your YouTube search bar and you will find me. And you will find me and see me there. So just in case you can't get onto TikTok and you want to watch me, you can watch me over there too. And all of my lives, thank you. All of my lives are also stored there. So you can go back and watch if you want to spend hours doing that. I mean, thank you. But yeah, you can do that if you want. So, but I just really, really appreciate everybody here. The community is awesome. You guys show out for me and I'm just very, very grateful for that and humbled by it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me to just be able to. I really didn't know if I was going to talk about that about my dad but
Yeah.
I felt brave. I said, okay, I trust this got me. You know, he's got me
got you.
before he can get me up again. And, you know, because it was interesting when you talked about the water, the 3 days without water, and it clicked when my brother said today that he went without no food. He just didn't want to eat. He didn't want to drink anymore. And yeah, within 3 days, he was gone.
Yeah, I hear that. And I'm really sorry that happened, but yeah, that's really tough.
And I think he just didn't want to suffer anymore. And I get it.
Yeah.
You know, you're 83. What do you do?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear that. So
that
the
was
last.
the same with my father
Oh, I'm
too.
sorry.
I
Go
was-
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, that was the same with my father too. He did the same thing. He just wanted to go, so he's like, nope. If I can't go any other way, I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm done.
Yeah. And you know what was weird? Gunner, his dog, I don't know if you heard about poor Gunner, but he had to put Gunner down, and it was the same day that my dad died.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that
Gunner
forever.
passed away on Sunday. Yeah, he passed away on Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry forever.
I'm sorry forever. Big hugs.
That's okay. Thanks. Yes, thanks. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
big hugs,
But
buddy.
yeah, there was a tumor on his spleen that ruptured.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
passed on the way to the vet.
I had a dog that had that. Did he have a big belly and all that stuff? Because it was like full of, like the dog I had was like full of blood because a tumor ruptured on his spleen. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was really quick.
Internal. Well,
On
that's good.
Saturday night, on Saturday night, he wasn't acting like himself, and he was walking kind of funny, and we just thought maybe he did something in the backyard, and he was just kind of like babying his hind leg. And then when I woke up in the morning, he was still kind of doing the same thing, but then all of a sudden it just started to decline. He got to a point where he was laying down, couldn't get up. He finally got up, and he was just uncomfortable everywhere. And then he got to a point where he couldn't get up at all. I'm like, okay, we're taking him to the vet.
Yeah.
So we grab him, we put him on his big bed, and we put him into the back of my wife's car, take him down to the vet, and then he passed just as we got there.
So sorry. But yeah, you're right. At least it was quick.
Yeah, it
That's
was
sad.
pretty quick.
I'm so sorry. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
He was my big boy. I do miss him.
Yeah, he was.
He was a big boy too. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a memorial for Gunner in the Discord, like we did for Phoebe and all that stuff. Yeah. We'll remember Gunner.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely. So sorry. Well,
Well, sometimes you just don't know those things. Like with Phoebe, I didn't know she was sick until we went to the vet and there was a tumor, and she wasn't even a year old, you know. But the vet told me, you know, you'll know when she's ready to go. And that's when she wasn't eating or drinking, and that's when I said, okay, but I wasn't ready for that conversation, but I had to because I didn't want her to suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, that's the downside of having pets. They usually end badly, but we love them while they're here, right? And that's what makes them so
Give them the
precious.
best lives we can while they're here.
Exactly. We just make the most of their lives. So, and you know, and we can tell that. I mean, I see the pet lovers in the Discord, and we can tell that y'all love your pets. So that's the important part. We just love them while they're here. So, and the fact that they were with like really, really good owners who love them. So that's the wonderful part too. So you guys gave them good lives. Yeah. And that's great. So yeah.
Yeah, now Jezebel's carrying on the Phoebe tradition. I mean, this dog has been through for my dad's stuff. I'm like, man, dogs are amazing. I mean, all animals are amazing.
They are. Without a doubt. I want to share some good news with the chat. So you may see, it's a little bit early, but I think you may see Board Agnostic on one of the Atheist Community Austin podcasts, either, Truth Wanted, Talk Heathen, or the Atheist Experience. So stay tuned for that. So the Board Agnostic will probably be going on there soon. So
Awesome.
yeah, so that's great news. She just DM'd me saying she has a meeting with the executive producers tomorrow. So I know I'm kind of blabbing business out here, but I'm just excited for her. So anything we can do to give her support. So let's just hope that meeting goes really well. Think good thoughts, all that stuff. Pom Putin, yeah, that's I think that was Dillahunty's turf. I think he's moved on. Like he's doing his own thing, and I think he's doing the Lime. But yeah, it is that area. Which, by the way, I will be on Sunday. I will be on the Atheist Experience on Sunday. So, but that's not the big news. The big news is that Board Agnostic might be on there. So that's exciting. So folks that we like and are in our community that are getting on that show that's great to hear. So I'm just very excited for her. So yeah, let's think good thoughts for her. Let's hope it goes well. All right, last thing. Let's rate somebody. So let's see who we got. Well,
Godless Engineer is on.
How about Godless Engineer? Yeah. Godless Engineer is on both YouTube and TikTok. So we can go both ways. Thank you, Rainbow Ash. I am excited too. I am so excited too.
Puppy.
Oh, puppy. Oh, wait.
God,
We gotta
another dog.
Puppy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. This thing is adorable.
Oh my God. Peg, your puppy is so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, puppy. It's a puppy.
Okay.
No, that's so funny.
I gotta shrink it so YouTube can see it too. Can see the pup.
Puppy.
Yay. Oh, I love puppies. So
You're funny.
W puppy. Absolutely. Aaliyah. W puppy.
It's cute.
Yes. It's adorable.
Those ears are killing me. I love those ears.
Yes. And that they're all perked up and oh my goodness, I just want to eat that puppy up.
The cute aggression is real.
Yes. It's like, oh my goodness, I just want to grab you and kiss you all over your face. This is just
I just want to eat your face. You're so cute. Ugh.
Right? I just can't stand it. It's just, oh my goodness. Okay, so Peg, if your puppy ever goes missing, I'm gonna be the first suspect. Just letting you know. I'm just saying. I'm just the first suspect because if I get near that puppy, I'm gonna take it home. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm going to. So
Another dog way. All the dog ways.
Yes, it's polytheism. All dog ways.
Yes, all dog ways are the way, the truth, and life.
Exactly. All right, I gotta go, everybody. Oh, thank you for that, Peg. I gotta go. So let's raid Godless Engineer with all the rating we can do. Yes, praise the dog. And you all have a great Tuesday. I will see you all tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. And enjoy the rest of your night. Take care. Good night, guys.
Good night.